Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 12 of another gaming podcast. My name is Dustin Christ, and a little bit of a disclaimer here. We lost the beginning of this episode, and it came in about halfway through our asking of our guest, devilmaypie Danny, his big three, his favorite recording artist, his favorite movie, and his favorite game. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut past all of that and go right into the E3 discussion. And then later we'll have Danny back on, and we can ask him his big three again. So I apologize for the technical error that we have, and but here is the rest of the episode where we talk all about E3. So enjoy.
Well, we'll go ahead and move on to question number 2 for you, Danny. Favorite recording artist? We'll go with that one next.
Recording artist. My music taste is all over the place. I listen to every genre, but the group I always go back to and probably have to be Iron Maiden.
Oh yes. Finally, another 80s fan in here with me.
I love me some 80s music. And the thing is, I don't really know what 80s music was until Grand Theft Auto Vice City. And probably has the best, soundtrack in gaming. I mean, as far as licensed music goes, all the great Michael Jackson tracks, and Iron Maiden was on there, of course, and I think even Megadeth. So it was just great.
Which album is your favorite?
Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Number of the Beast is, probably the cop-out kind of answer. I really like that, but I'll probably say Power Slave.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because it has Rhyme the Ancient Mariner, which is cool.
I like Peace of Mind and Somewhere in Time.
Anything in the 80s, they're all great. You can't go wrong any of them.
The first 7 albums, all the way up to Seventh Son, is just totally amazing. After that, they got
absolutely. When Bruce Dickinson left, I forgot the other guy's name. He did okay, but it wasn't for me.
The Bruce Dickinson?
Yeah.
Yes, the Bruce Dickinson.
He's the voice of Iron Maiden for the majority of their discography.
Yep.
Maybe we'll be wearing gold-plated diapers.
Get ready to do that. Yeah. When I get done with you, you'll all be wearing gold-plated diapers.
I'm lost.
The cowbell skit?
Yeah.
Chance, come on.
The what?
The cowbell skit from SNL.
Oh,
yeah.
See, I always hear that part, and I've seen the Christopher Walken saying that, but I've never actually seen the whole skit.
Yeah. Needs more cowbell.
Got a fever.
Yeah.
More cowbell.
I'm going to go ahead and ask the third question, then check on my son who's crying while after I ask it. Favorite movie? Go for it.
Okay, favorite movie? Yeah, movie's probably my biggest passion after gaming, and it's also all over the place. But movie, after I've seen it, I'd say absolutely it's my all-time favorite. Would be a weird one, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I need to see that movie.
I think that for me is the most romantic movie ever made.
Yes, and the funny thing is, it's the guys that love that movie. I know a lot of female that love that movie as much as guys do. I don't know why, but yes, it's just beautiful deconstruction of a relationship. Going in, moving backwards and forwards at the same time. It's just amazing, great writing, and it might be confusing to some at first, but you definitely catch it the second time around. You didn't get it, but yeah, Jim Carrey, all the movies where he's not being crazy and stupid, he's actually really good. Like that. Was it Majestic and was it Man on the Moon?
Yeah.
Truman Show. Yeah, they're all great. So I don't know why he doesn't make
Well, even movie like Yes Man, where he was kind of zany, but at the same time it wasn't completely over the top Liar Liar and some of those other ones, which I think deep down are really solid too. I never cared much for Ace Ventura and stuff like that. But
yeah, and I seem to enjoy them when I'm younger, but I kind of outgrown them in a way.
I never saw The Mask. I never cared for either one of the Ace Ventura movies, but yeah, I really want to see that movie.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. Your wife will probably like it. So
I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, sorry, Danny, I didn't mean to cut you.
No, you go ahead. I'm done.
I was gonna say I'm gonna go ahead and make a controversial statement. I may have made it before. I don't know. The Mask. That is the only movie that I find Cameron Diaz attractive in.
Okay.
Because she actually has some fucking meat on her bones.
That is true. I'm trying to think of... sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I never thought of her as extremely attractive, but I actually never thought of her as ugly either.
Yeah.
She's very plain looking to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and going back to Cameron Diaz, you brought her, not enough meat on her bones. And when I watched Charlie's Angels, I was much more attracted to Drew Barrymore for some reason, and that might be it right there.
Yeah.
So.
No Lucy Liu?
I like me some Lucy Liu.
Yeah, you got.
until I watched that movie. What was it? Antonio Banderas and her. What's it called? I forgot the name. It's so terrible.
I don't
You
know.
know, you know what I'm talking about.
X versus Server,
Yeah.
Ballistic.
Yeah. What should we tell Steven I like? My Little Pony or something?
Yeah. Trying to think of something that he hates.
Mary-Kate and Ashley. Something like that.
Takes Two.
What was the one where they go out west? I can't remember. It's like How the West Was Fun. How the West Was Fun.
Should tell him that. Yeah. So what else is going on?
It got really quiet in here.
Well, it's because, we can't really move on to the next topic, which, I mean, I'll just truncate out all the silence anyway. It'll just be like, well, somebody got done talking, then Chance goes, it got really quiet here. So, but
Awkward pauses.
For the viewers at home, Steven is being a father right now, so we can't really move on into the topics because, we don't have everybody here, so.
Yeah. I should say The Departed when he comes back. That should do it.
Oh, yeah, because he didn't like The Departed, did he?
That movie's fantastic. Is he the one that was
he was
on that?
He was the one that, well, if you haven't seen the movie by now, basically it's like Reservoir Dogs. Everyone dies, and he didn't understand why everyone had to die.
Well, and I'm sure of him being a man of the law, too, he thought, he didn't think that was so great. But my dad's a cop, and he hates most cop shows just because they just skew things and give cops a bad reputation. And so often in shows, cops are perceived as the bad guy in a lot of ways. And it's like, okay, like one of my very favorite shows is actually The Shield. It was on FX several years ago, and it's it is a corrupt cop. He's a piece of trash, but you want him to succeed. But I would try to talk to my dad about that show, and he'd get so mad. It's like, I can't stand that show. But,
I can't watch most medical shows because it just seems like everybody's having sex in a closet, in a hospital.
Yeah. Thankfully, my wife is not a fan of Grey's Anatomy because I think if I had to sit through that, I would.
Now, if you work in like a big university hospital, it might be more action-packed like that. But like if you work in a majority of the hospitals around this country, it's more like Scrubs.
I was going to say, you like Scrubs?
Yeah, it's more like Scrubs, just people sitting around being bored and trying to entertain themselves.
I can imagine working in a hospital like in my town because there's one hospital and it is tiny and the only people in there are old and they're dying. That's why the hospital. As sad as that is to say, I mean, it's just not like people come in with lacerations and whatever. They go to the city for important stuff.
We's going to the big city. See a big city doctor.
I live in a town of like 1,200 people, so yeah, it's very small.
I think more people in my high school.
Yeah, there was 38 to 40 kids in my graduating class. I can't remember how many.
Whoa.
I can't remember how many of them flunked. And there's about 100, less than 200 students in my school, high school.
I think it's kind of cool. You know everyone.
Yeah, I mean that was that was all right. I was the type that was pretty much friends with everyone too. So it's like it was okay that I knew everyone. I didn't have to avoid anybody. That kind of thing.
All right.
I think I'm just going to edit all this part out. So
yeah,
talk at will.
Who's Will?
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Wheaton. Cool Wheaton. I hate Family Guy. I don't know why I said that.
It's gone downhill.
It's one of those things. It's like I was never into adult cartoons like that. Like I never watched The Simpsons. I've seen it several times, but I mean I've never watched it like religiously. I hate South Park. I hate Family Guy. I hate all that stuff, and I don't know why. But I just can't stand it.
You just don't like the humor, maybe the.
I guess.
What's the word? Not immaturity. That's not a good word for it.
So you're not going to get Stick of Truth then?
Yeah, it looks awesome.
No, hell no.
But the Nakasaki, that was so funny. Oh my god. I laughed so hard at that. Ooh.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know.
If it plays like a traditional RPG of sorts and has all that humor, I'm in.
So where are we at? I'm back. What happened? What I
just talking about my favorite movie. That would be ready, Steven?
Yeah, I heard South Park talk.
Oh, we're just going off in a tangent.
Longer, uncut.
Yeah.
What's the favorite movie then?
The Mary Kate and Ashley, How the West Was Fun.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was,
but between that one and the Halloween one are they're the two best Mary Kate movies. But go ahead.
No, we're talking about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, starring Jim Carrey.
I actually never seen it, but I hear raving things about it.
See, you and Chance need to get the ladies.
Yes.
Set them down and watch that because it is. I mean, it gets crazy and wild, but it is like the most accurate depiction of a relationship in the history of movies.
Yeah.
And the way the way it ends is so beautiful that you're just like even me, I'm just like, oh.
Absolutely. Has me balling every time. But you got Mark Ruffalo in it, which is cool.
Is that how
who
you
else?
say that?
I think so, right? Mark
I
Ruffalo.
always said Ruffalo. But
Hold up, is that the one with Frodo in it, or you said Jim Carrey?
Both, yeah. Frodo's in it too.
Okay.
Yep. And who else? What's her name from Spider-Man?
Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I just saw an article on Jim Carrey today about how he's having trouble finding work these days because he's not that popular anymore, I guess. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Well, you have your moment in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
that Penguin movie was pretty good.
He can make Ace Ventura 3.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to get the Dumb and Dumber sequel picked up somewhere, and I think it was Sony Pictures dropped it or something.
He walked away from it.
Apparently he went back to it. So,
Lloyd
oh well.
Christmas.
All right, so let's get into the coup de grace then. I guess y'all were talking a little bit about the stick of truth, so let's just go ahead and get into some E3 discussion. What were, initial reactions? Do we want to go into each one individually?
Well,
or what?
do you want to... Okay, why don't we just start and say who we thought won E3, and then we'll go into each individual conference.
Okay. Do we want to say who we thought won, or go ahead? Never mind, go ahead.
Danny, go ahead and let us know who do you think won and why.
As far as if you've seen all of it, as far as showing their press conference, no doubt it has to be Sony. Just
fanboy.
What a fanboy!
No.
Hey, hold on just 1 minute. But no, actually the conference itself, for the most part in the beginning wasn't that exciting, and a lot of games we were expecting, the Infamous and all the first party stuff, and it's cool they show all of that, but and then it came out, I can go ahead and say, if you probably already don't know, they told us, the used thing is not true. They flat out say you can share your games with friends. It's good, forever, and no DRM and all that online verification stuff. So they pretty much stick the finger to Microsoft, and that was pretty awesome. It's a great E3 moment.
So do you think they had the best games for you that you want to play or for next gen so far?
I say yes, and more so, there'll probably be a lot of games that we don't know about that'll probably show up on the Sony console, not Microsoft, because I see that's the direction they're going for. But yeah, so right now, Microsoft, they do have their pretty, cool games, but I can also get it on the PS4, and so why not,
Awesome. Chance, what do you think, man, from what you kind of gathered from everything we've been talking about?
I was going to say, I'll just be upfront and honest. I really haven't been following that closely. But just from everything that I've read from other people and everything that you guys have been talking about, I'd say definitely Sony. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, because I'm kind of a Halo fanboy, I really probably won't be buying the new Xbox until that comes out, Halo 5, and that will probably be, in a couple of years. So...
But let me ask you this, Chance. Did you look at Destiny gameplay?
I've seen a little bit, and Destiny looks awesome. But see, it's going to be on the PS4 too. So
yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. Do you plan on picking up a PS4 before you pick up an Xbox One?
Yeah. Yes.
So do you think that? Because with me, I personally think Destiny's going to fill that
void,
that hole in my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just really like the story and the lore of Halo 2.
Yeah.
It's not just the fact that it's this spacey kind of shooter, that I like. It's not just that. I love Halo 2. So it's going to be really tough, but it's at the same time, I get what you're saying, and it is going to be okay for me to wait Like, even after Halo 5 comes out in the future, whatever, I probably won't rush out and buy an Xbox One as soon as that happens.
What'd you think of their reveal trailer on that? I don't know if I was digging the whole cloak thing. Like, Master Chief don't wear no cloaks or nothing. What is up with that?
That's what Screw Attack was saying. They're like, he has armor on. Why is he wearing a cloak?
I don't know if I like the little trailer they had for it to reveal him like that, but I always remember that Halo 2 one where he like just come out the cryo chamber and like bust through the ship and stuff. That'll probably be my favorite Halo video when they introduce one, but Halo's a tough one they're going to have to miss out on. Want me to go next, Dustin?
Sure, go ahead.
This was tough because I really thought through this today. I had to subdue the highs from the Sony press conference yesterday. Looking at numbers and stuff, Microsoft did have a ton of games that they showed during the press conference. They didn't talk about TV and stuff. They ignored all that stuff. Sony kind of had that in there. That took up quite a bit of time sometimes when they were talking about TV, at least about 20 minutes if you add everything together, 20 to 30 of stuff. We didn't really care about it. If you listen to our reaction video over there, there's times where we're like, we don't care about this crap, let's talk about something else. Then Nintendo had their conference this morning, and I think for me, I'm more excited about all the Nintendo games I saw today. I don't think they didn't win E3. I think Sony did win E3 because their console, like I said, the used game thing. It seems like they're a console for the gamer. Microsoft is trying to, I don't know, they just seem kind of fake right now to me. They're just putting out something they want for the future or something with the DRM and everything. I can't get on board with that yet. I know people are saying, people like probably me and Dustin or any of us need to grow up and move on with the future. I'm not ready to take that step yet and leave my physical copies behind. I still love having a console, my physical copy, sharing it with friends. I think Sony won it, but I think Nintendo has more games that I want coming ahead right now. So that's me. Sony won it, but Nintendo has the games I want right now. Go ahead,
But
Dustin.
yet you still don't have a Wii. Wii U.
I have a Wii. Oh, I will. Apparently, you weren't following the conversation. I hope to have a Wii U, and probably as soon as I beat Last of Us.
That'll take like 2 days.
Yeah, well, 18 hours for Last of Us, so hopefully I can stretch it out.
Oh, nice. I didn't know it was that long.
Probably in a week or two. I've had my Wii U money set aside for 4 months now, so I've been waiting for the announcements of the games, and we're getting close to where the games are going to start coming out, so it's time. Is Dustin still there?
I'm still here.
Okay.
See, I've been doing the same thing Steven has been doing. Like, the high of Sony's conference is over.
Mm-hmm.
And I am sitting back and thinking about it, and I have to give the devil its due and say that Microsoft did do a good conference. But
I would agree.
I mean, they basically rectified what problems they could from their reveal conference. TV, sports. Oh. Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Steven just got kicked out.
Oh.
And hold on a second, guys.
Well then. It was fun. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, so what you think about that Mario, Chance?
Oh, man, I actually haven't seen the video yet.
You haven't seen it? Looks amazing. I know you haven't played 3D Land yet, so go ahead and play 3D Land. You have a better idea of what that game will be like. It's like a sequel.
I just got off work at like 5, and I've been running around, so I haven't actually got a chance.
Okay.
That's what I was saying. It's funny that we're talking about all this stuff today, because I haven't actually watched that much of it. So most of this is kind of news to me, too, but whatever. I'll follow along.
Actually, that's when I think of picking up the Wii U is when they release that Mario. That's in December, I think.
Yeah, I really want to get a Wii U too. I'm actually kind of on the fence of which one I'd rather get first, Wii U or Vita. Like, because they're really about the same price. And so, okay, do I have enough 3DS games, or did I want to get and the PSP and DS backlogs that I want to get too, that I can justify waiting for a Vita until it gets a little bit cheaper?
Yeah, they have to release a price drop.
Ass memory cards, man.
I know, I hate that. It's like. You can't even do anything with like 4 gigs, and that's like $40 for that.
Yeah, so it's like I'm probably gonna get a Wii U first before I get a Vita, but I definitely want both of them. I talked to the wife and I said, I really want both of these before the end of the year. It's like, I don't think it's going to happen, but it's, I do. And I still really want to get a Saturn, man. That's like the one retro console that I'm missing that I really want.
Be careful, man. Good games on there expensive. I only have like 5.
Yeah, but see, I'm okay with, just a handful of the really solid games out there, And two, I mean, it's not a bad system to, collect for long term.
No.
As long
definitely. The games aren't going to get any cheaper, Yeah. So I say go for it. But the Vita for me... Oh, yeah, go ahead, man.
No, I was just saying, it's like stuff like, what's it? Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, it looks cool, but I can...
Okay.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
I'm...
You guys there?
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I got disconnected right when you said Microsoft had a great conference, and then I lost everything.
Okay. Well, this is a weird thing because I like my mouse pad on my laptop. I have no control over. Like I'm moving it and nothing. I tried stopping the recording and nothing, and I can't find my fucking mouse.
Oh no!
I had like 2 mice sitting around here somewhere, and I can't find them. So.
Your dog take it?
Yeah, no. But we're still recording, supposedly, so I hope to God that this is actually recording in my computer. I mean, since Skype's working, I'm assuming that it's working in just my... Anyway.
Well, did everyone get knocked out or something, or...
No, just you.
Just me? Okay, cool deal.
So anyway, well, I'll just restart, and I'm going to have to do a lot of editing on this one, so it might not be up till a little bit later in the week.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's fine. You can give it some time.
But, okay. Anyway, I think Microsoft did a good conference for what they needed to do because, they fucked up. Microsoft, you done fucked up the first time.
Yeah, we went into it with a bad taste, which that was so bad for them. Just went in with a bad taste.
And what they showed was okay, but even what they showed did not put me over top that hurdle.
Yeah.
So I have to say that Sony won it now.
Yeah.
Because they came out and did exactly what they needed to do, which was make you want to buy their system. And because here's the thing, like right now, there's no difference between the 360 and the PS3. Very little difference. But going into this next generation, there is a huge difference between Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Just in terms of just the environment that you're in, the gaming environment.
I think the gamers are going for kind of seems different. It seems like the Xbox One audience, I don't know. Like I said, that Facebook page I was on looking at, looks like a lot of the age of these Xbox One adopters are between 14 to 18. They're really young. And they're into this new technology and cloud-based systems. And I think the Sony audience is more of us older guys and stuff we like how the PS1 and PS2 and our Nintendo and SNES was.
Well, it's interesting when you look at it culturally. Yeah. Because you have to think about how games are done in Japan. There is no renting. People, the reason why you can go and buy a Japanese game and have it be in excellent condition is because what they do over there is they buy the game, they play it, and then they sell it back as quickly as they can to make the money back off of it. That's kind of how they rent over there. So there's no way that Sony and Nintendo would do that because I'm sorry, but at least Nintendo in some ways I think thinks about Japan first. Sony might be a big enough corporation that they're looking at everything, but they're not going to end that. You know what I mean? And of course people are going to say, well, Xbox you can't rent anyway, but they're not going to kill off the secondary market in Japan.
Yeah, and to add to that, Dustin, with Microsoft, and a lot of people don't realize this, they might think it's a good idea, but a lot of these younger kids, and I can, ask you guys the same thing growing up, what did you guys do when you want a new game? You would trade in old games, right?
Yep.
How do you do that when you can't trade in your own games? They just don't get any new games. It's not like, these kids are getting more money. So.
Well, I mean, I see it all the time at GameStop. Whenever I go in there, there is somebody that, maybe doesn't have a lot of money, but they're trading in, and this is the thing, too, that somebody brought up. I think Nintendo, Reggie brought it up in Nintendo's conference about how Nintendo does not do the yearly, fucking games.
Yeah, the annual titles,
The annual releases. And I think that has to do a lot with people trading in games. Because why do I need Modern Warfare, 2 when Modern Warfare 5's coming out? It's kind of the same, you're not going to go back and play that campaign or that multiplayer. You're going to play the new multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Like, I'll go back and play Halo 1 for the campaign, or I'll go back and play it, like, if my friends want to have, like, a retro LAN party. But, I'm not going to go, I don't know. So, I mean, they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot that way with how they sell these games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're all in agreement here that Sony pretty much kind of walked away with their conference. They just nailed it. Especially they were just trying to get us, the gamer, and saying, hey, this is for you. They had their little talks on the TV and stuff, but I think they really targeted the gamer. But looking more into it, out of stuff we found out today, things that we thought were exclusives for it yesterday kind of aren't anymore. Did that take anything away from it for you guys, finding out, like Dustin told us, that Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 are not exclusives? Is that a big hit for them?
I don't think so, because I think people are... Look, after seeing these two conferences, there's no doubt in a lot of people's minds what system they're going with. And, Square is just covering their ass by releasing Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy 15. Would it be better if they were exclusives? Probably not, because the American market, as we know, Japanese RPGs are kind of...
Very true.
Going by the wayside. So it's not really a big deal. Now, if Destiny was an exclusive,
yeah, that'd be huge.
It'd be huge. And it also seems like Bungie and Sony are working a lot closer together than Bungie and Microsoft are. You know what I mean?
It really does.
Bungie's probably pissed because they lost the Halo contract.
Well,
it could be.
Yeah, but it's like, what company was? Oh, it's EA. It's like, all the DLC is first round on Xbox One, And I think like with Destiny, which I'm sorry, Destiny's gonna be a huge fucking game. I think it's gonna be PS4 kind of first, and then Xbox One.
I'm getting that same vibe from it too, or maybe just like exclusive. Like any type of MMO size type of game always has these content packs that make the world bigger. I could see them releasing that just for PS4, like an exclusive whole area that you can't get in Xbox if they get that relationship that seems to be pretty strong. They said they had I forget how long the contract years were with them, but it looks like it could have a bright future for PS4 and Bungie's relationship. So I'm stoked about it. Well, how about we get into just kind of like going into a little bit of each conference and just seeing like what we little highlights or anything we kind of like out of it. We can go ahead and start with the Xbox since that was the first one. Was there anything at all that kind of interests you guys in that? I think they started off with Metal Gear Solid 5, another multi-platform game.
Yeah.
And they led off with that. I don't know if that was just trying to say, listen, if you have a PlayStation, you can play this on our game too, on our system too, but were there any wows right there? Danny, I know are you kind of a fan of the Metal Gear Solid series?
I'm a pretty big fan of Metal Gear Solid series. I've been following it for quite a long time, since the PS1 days. But they're really taking a new direction here. They're mentioning open world stuff, and just curious to see how it plays out. And maybe it won't be as many cutscenes, because in Metal Gear Solid 4, I think there was like 3 hours of cutscenes. So if you weren't into the whole Metal Gear lore or story, it's a hard sell. That's all I can say. But yeah, looks really neat. I don't know if that's the graphics that are shown for the PS3 and 360 or the new console, but if it's for the PS3 and stuff, that's pretty amazing. Because I know that's what it's going to be on.
Oh, it's not going to be on next gen?
I don't know if they confirmed that. From what I remember, they announced it for just the current gen, but I might be wrong on that.
I think it's just current gen.
Yeah, but it looks pretty for it.
Wow, it looked amazing. Did it look a little too... was it too much? Did it seem stealthy enough like a Metal Gear game, or did it seem like about right?
From what I've seen, not really, but who knows? That might just be one section of it. In Metal Gear Solid 4, they went to all these different places, so they might be in more closed kind of corridor, which the older games are known for.
You can ride on a horse sideways. That's the big thing in this game.
Yeah.
So, Chance, were you ever into Metal Gear Solid at all?
I actually have never played any of them. It's one of those series that I kind of wanted to, but I just never had them available, close by, when I got back into gaming. So it's just something I've managed to skip over. So I don't know. I kind of want to go back though.
Well, Chance, cool. I'll say if you want to get into it, there's a pack coming out. I think only the PS3 is like the Legacy Collection or something. It's going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4 on it. So I say that's where you should.
That's one I need.
Started.
Is 1 going to be the PS1 version?
Yeah, I believe so. I think the GameCube remake, Nintendo owns that. So
Okay.
yeah,
I think it's got Peace
Yeah,
Walker
Twin
and stuff in it too.
yeah. I think Peace Walker should be on there too. And it's not coming out on 360 because Metal Gear Solid 4 is such a huge thing for the PS3. Would take up like 10 Xbox discs or something.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I know me and Dustin are like on the same spot with that. We both dropped off at number 2. I tried putting 3 in a couple times, but just always would get like nowhere with it, and it wasn't grasping me. And I hear it's such a great game, but I never give it enough time, I guess, to open up into how great it actually gets.
It's one of those things, though. Like I like the aesthetics of Metal Gear. I think my favorite one is still the first one.
Yeah, for me too.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. Like even with Metal Gear Solid 2, I played it for a long time, and then I would put it down and just kind of leave it, and then I'd come back to it. So I think if I ever get around to putting back in Snake Eater, because I was actually thinking about picking up the 3DS version, but then I was like, that's stupid. I have the PS2 version. Just play that, you know. I think if I went back to it, I would probably enjoy it, but I need to play it because I need to get to Metal Gear Solid 4 because I have Metal Gear Solid 4 sitting there on the shelf because I got it cheap. Let me ask you this though about Metal Gear Solid 3. That old man, the old sniper.
Yeah.
Did anybody? Because this is what happened to me. Because this is one of those times I took a break, and then when I came back,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He was dead.
Yeah. You can do that. Some people would change the internal system clock, and he would just like die because it's been too long. Yeah. So that was pretty neat. You found out that way.
That's the kind of fun stuff that I love about the Metal Gear series, like the Psycho Manus and
Metal Gear Solid. That's amazing. So.
Yeah, and like I turned it back on. I was like, all right, I gotta beat this sniper guy, and it's like he's dead, and I'm like, and I looked online, and I was like, holy shit.
That's awesome. You found out that way.
So I mean, good looking game and all, but it's not an exclusive, and I mean, I don't know if that's what I would want to lead my conference off.
Yeah,
with.
Even if it was an exclusive, I don't think it'd be a system seller for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not for me. Especially not an Xbox One with all the junk they got going on.
Well, that's the kind of thing I got from Xbox's conference is like the multi-platform games. I'm like, that's going to be great on PS4. That's the entire. That's what I was thinking the entire time. And that's like the exclusives. I'm like, oh great, another first-person shooter. Oh, another first-person shooter. You know, it's just like,
Well, I got a list here of all the exclusives they had for the Xbox One, and there is a list of 17. Some of them are just downloadable titles and stuff, but some of the big ones were, of course, Halo 5, and of course it's going to be a great game. That is.
But like we said, is that really Halo 5?
Yeah, Chance. I don't know if you got a chance to actually see that clip or not yet, but
they never said Halo 5. They just said Halo.
Yeah, and on IGN it just says Halo for Xbox One. It doesn't even have a title.
Yeah. So we're not sure. They look like a Promethean ship in it, but I mean, it's probably going to be Halo 5, but it's like they're afraid to say it because it's probably still 2 years out. I don't think it's going to be next fall when you get it. That's probably why they're not saying anything about it.
They probably don't need to really say it. You know what I mean? Like all they got to say is Halo. Oh, okay, the next one, 5's coming. Okay.
Well, so I was kind of hoping for a Halo, 4.5, kind of like ODST is to Halo 3. There's no reason to me that they couldn't make another one, maybe even at the end of this year, have it out, within the year, even for the 360 and for the Xbox One when it finally does launch.
I think that's what I kind of liked about the Halo games, though. Like we were talking about that annual releases, they kind of did tend to keep a good gap between when they released a game. I wouldn't want to see them release one like every year or something or overdo it. They're normally about every 2 or 3 years they'll give us one, and I think it's only been a year since Halo 4, so...
Well, I mean, but Halo 3 and then ODST and then Halo Wars came out really close together. Then they released Reach.
Yeah, they did.
Reach, and then the remake of the first Halo came out, and then 4 came out just, about a year and a half later. So to me, I wouldn't be surprised if there was another, maybe even, hell, an HD remake of Halo 2. I'd be all over that shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason that
I'd probably expect that one before. I am surprised I actually didn't see that, actually. I thought that was rumored to be happening.
Well, it still could. I mean, 343 did the remake of 1, so Bungie's last game was Reach.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no reason that it couldn't still happen even this generation, but even still spill over to the Xbox One too, or also I shouldn't say two.
Yeah, going back and playing 2 is kind of a hurtful experience, I guess. I don't know.
I really liked it.
I mean, I like it, but
all the way up till the ending. That's the only part I didn't like.
But when you look at like the graphical presentation, like if there was ever a game that needed an HD update, that is it. Because
even more so than 1 to me.
Yeah, because the texture pop in and all that stuff. Jesus.
Yeah, Halo 1 to me still looks like a better game than Halo 2, but Halo 3 was such a huge jump. I mean, of course, it was console jump too, but I don't know. It's just Halo 3 is just beautiful.
I know one of the most anticipated things we were waiting to find out from the Xbox system was which game is Rare gonna announce? Which one's it gonna be? Of course, they started off by saying they showed that Rare is gonna be making another Kinect Sports game. I was like, crap, I hope that's not the game they're talking about. And then they finally did show a little brief clip of Killer Instinct, which it looked pretty cool. And then Dustin gave us some more information on how Killer Instinct will actually be working.
Then later in the day, they fucking ruined it. Oh my god.
Why don't you go ahead and say what they announced while I go take a pee break real quick.
Okay. So here's how Killer Instinct works on Xbox One. It is a download-only game. No physical release. It is free to download. It sounds great, right? When you download it, the only character you get is Jago. To play the other characters like Saberwolf, Fulgore, Black Orchid, you have to buy them individually.
Good grief.
That's just terrible business practice, especially for a fighting game.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
So, everyone's like, yeah, Killer Instinct. And then it's like, oh my god, you ruined, it's just...
crazy.
Let's hope it botches completely because think about it. If that takes off, of course Capcom's gonna be like, here's Street Fighter 5. You get Ryu and Ken. If you want more players, hey, give us some money.
See, I hope they don't get any ideas like that. They would crash and burn. They'll be, those Street Fighter fans. They'll go crazy.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I haven't really looked into it. But I would think, people, I'm really expecting, a video from Jason Heine on this. Because
I'm surprised we haven't seen one yet. I'm really shocked we haven't.
That dude has been, just jizzing in his pants over Killer Instinct for so long. And then to have it presented in this way, I would be fucking pissed.
I don't know what they think over there sometimes. It's I don't know.
It's like less is more for them. I don't know.
For me, it was cool to hear. I was happy for Killer Instinct fans when they announced it that it's a Killer Instinct. And me, I wasn't a big Killer Instinct fan or guy back in the day. I'm more of a Street Fighter guy. So wasn't a big deal to me when they did announce it. It was just cool that they were bringing it back. And then when I heard when Dustin said this stuff today, I was like. He put it in the chat, just like money grabbing Microsoft, what they're trying to do.
It's okay. I have Killer Instinct on the Super Nintendo. I'm going to be buying Killer Instinct Gold on the N64. Don't need it, Microsoft. Thank you.
Yeah.
I had Killer Instinct Gold, and I didn't actually want it. If I knew you wanted it, I would have sent it to you. I actually sold it.
Dang it.
But they also showed, I think the one I was actually most excited for, other than Titanfall, was I'm really interested in this Sunset Overdrive. The Insomniac guys,
I have to admit that, it seems almost a little bit too goofy for me. I like humor, but it just seems like, I don't know. But the co-op aspect of it kind of seemed cool.
See, I think everyone was expecting they had that game Fuse they made that was I think it's multi-platform, and it kind of had that Insomniac feel to it when they first announced it a while back, and then for some reason it changed into looking like a generic third-person shooter. So it was kind of cool to see that, okay, Insomniac Games, make a game that, has your style on it, and that trailer pretty much showed off their style. You got a gun that's powered by energy drinks and a gun that shoots records.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it looked really cool. Of course, it was just a trailer, so we don't know how the game works. When I first saw it, I was thinking Fortnite, that Epic Games tower defense game that I don't know what ever happened to that, if that came out and just went away or what. But I got that vibe when I first saw it. But I'm kind of intrigued of how that game actually works, and Insomniac being on an Xbox console with an exclusive. It'd be cool to see how that game turns out to be, but system seller, again, no. It's not going to sell me on the system. Is there anything else that kind of jumped out to you guys? Danny, Dustin, Chance, if you don't know, the Crimson Dragon, was anyone kind of excited about that?
I was about to say that, yeah.
That does kind of pain me, yeah, because I love Panzer Dragoon. And, I mean, they could do it. I mean, after a couple years, they could. Hell, Sega could probably make a Panzer Dragoon and put it on PS4, because PS4 has that, that eye toy or eye camera, whatever the fuck that thing is called. But it'd be great if they made it, controllers.
Yeah. What happened?
No, so I really like the series, Panzer Dragoon series. And I know they call it Crimson Dragon. They probably don't have the rights or the license for it, but it's pretty much the same game. But yeah, I guess that'll be one of those I'm going to miss out on, but that's okay.
Which I thought that was weird, because during the press conference they said it's like the successors to it, but I guess they're not allowed to use the name. I don't know.
Well, it's the creator of Panzer Dragoon.
Okay,
but he's left Sega, and Sega owns the rights to that property, so they can't really call it Panzer Dragoon unless Sega.
Or go ahead, Dustin.
I was going to say just unless Sega was involved with it, which they're not.
Okay, and Chance, if you hadn't seen it, it's just pretty much looks like a Panzer Dragoon on rails, like. Beautiful looking shooter. Of course, we didn't get it. That was their first screw up of the day, where they didn't have any sound actually playing during the trailer or the gameplay of this game, which was cool because, again, I mentioned gameplay there. Microsoft actually showed a lot of gameplay with all the games they announced. That was another good thing they did. Where Sony kind of had a lot of trailers, the Microsoft one did have a good amount of gameplay actually in their games that they were showing. So that was pretty cool on their part. How about this Project Spark? Did that spark any interest in any of you guys?
No.
What was that again?
The Project Spark, the pretty much create your own game, then play it game.
Oh, it's the one where you have to use a smart glass and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the thing with me is, seems like Microsoft's really trying to shove this smart glass thing up everyone's throats. And, seems like a lot of games that's going to be, a requirement or, I don't know, an advantage to having that. And, I don't know, I'm not about that.
Yeah.
Looks cool and all,
yeah, with this game, Chance, it was pretty much a game where you can build your own little world really easily by telling your Kinect some commands. It can create a world for you in the wintertime, mountains, any type of scenery you want. Then you can add little villages and stuff in it, and you pretty much play the level you just built. So
now, if I wanted to do all that, I'd play Minecraft, which I think is equally as stupid. But that's just me.
You can get the Minecraft Xbox One edition.
No,
you can
that's
get that
okay.
now too.
I'll pass on the Minecraft too. I'm going through the list of games. I don't know which ones are exclusives and which ones aren't. But a couple of them jump out at me a little bit. Obviously, Halo and Mirror's Edge, but I still haven't played the first one. But I mean, I don't know if that's an exclusive or not.
I don't think so because it was.
It's not.
Yeah.
The Battlefront, that really just makes me want to go back and play the rest of the Battlefront games because they've always kind of intrigued me, but I've never had any of them. So is that one exclusive?
I put the exclusives in the chat for you in the Skype.
Okay, cool. And then you guys mentioned Titanfall, and that looks pretty good. And then, of course, Wolfenstein: The New Order, but that's not an exclusive either. So that's just a game that I've been looking forward to, period. So. Other than that, though, I mean, probably a lot of stuff that I could live without.
Yeah, I think the last couple things was, like you said, Titanfall really did interest me. I like that whole. I was telling them while we were talking during the conference, I was looking for a cool type of mech game. This doesn't look like a full-on mech game, but I like the incorporation of it. And Respawn, they're awesome at multiplayer online games if you're into their Call of Duty stuff. But this game looked like a lot of fun, but it looks like it might only be like an online type game. I don't know if it's gonna have, or it doesn't look like it's gonna have a story mode, or if it is, it's gonna be a story mode like there was a game that just came out called Brink that did horrible. It's basically not a story. It's like capturing bases and stuff. And I'm into doing that in Battlefront, but other games I'm just not feeling it on. So if it's like that, then it doesn't sell me. But it did look like a really cool game.
We are forgetting an exclusive.
The Dead Rising?
Dead Rising, yeah.
That was a game that got a lot of mixed opinions.
Yeah.
Danny, with the and Dustin, with how were your takes on that? Do you want it to have its more comedy centric feel, or how would you guys feel about how they're doing it?
I mean, the thing is, it looks awesome, but that was kind of part of the Dead Rising thing, is that it didn't take itself so damn seriously. There's so many like serious zombie games out there. It was fun to have a game that kind of took it, with a bit of a irreverence.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the first Dead Rising came out a long time ago, like close to the 360's launch, and I think it did pretty well. It spawned a sequel. It was very fun. Just running around, just doing whatever in the mall, getting all sorts of wacky stuff, kind of almost like Grand Theft Auto, like And this one here it seemed like they want to cash in on the whole Walking Dead thing. That's what's popular right now. The more kind of serious tone of survival in a zombie apocalypse, and it's very gray and brown. So it might be a good game, but that doesn't spark my interest.
Yeah, and I think that pretty much like wraps up what the whole Sony thing was. Yeah, they had some games there, or the Microsoft one. They had some games there, but just nothing that was like, wow, like that's amazing, gotta have it. I mean, Halo 5 would have me excited, but like I said, it's probably a ways out. I don't want it to sound like an Xbox One will be something I'll never get, because I'd like to have every console. I mean, we're collectors and stuff, and I like playing games. So maybe later on down the road when it's $199, I'd want to play Halo 5, but nothing about the conference got me excited for it to want to get it. Is anyone in the back of their mind ever wanting to get an Xbox One other than Chance? I know he wants it for some Halo action, like me. Is anyone ever going to eventually get one?
Well, here's the thing about it. Like, if you wait to the $199 price point, you're going to have a hard time finding games for that thing, unless they're like the big AAA titles. Because
unfortunately, I might have to just digital them like they want me to.
Yeah, because I mean, you're not going to be able to go into GameStop and buy a used copy of an old game, or go on the Amazon and buy a used copy. So I feel like if you don't get in on this on like day one or close to day one, there's like no point. You know what I mean? Like they just completely shot themselves in the foot with this, because a lot of people buy consoles later in their life and then go back and buy a bunch of old games that you really can't find anymore.
Well, we'll have to see how they start pricing. If they can go by a different pricing module, if I know they have their greatest hits and stuff at $20, maybe if they get it to that $20 price tag quicker. But if it's a harder to find game like a Tales of Vesperia that can still go for $40, I mean, like you're saying, I don't know. I mean, it can only be more expensive to try to find one, because it'd be insane to try to get it.
Because then that adds a new level of rarity to it. Like, this one hasn't been traded in yet. It still has one use left to it.
True. I never thought about that. That is insane.
Yeah.
If someone wants that physical form. But if you don't care about that,
that's true. Yeah.
There you go. And if they hold kind of like Steam type sales, they could do it. It's Microsoft. They're not going to, so people can wish they could. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, my whole stance on it is it's the whole business practice. I'm not for it. The idea, they clarified it more before E3 as far as their used games and being connected online, and it just seems like you look at the list, it's like, okay, here's the things you can't do, and what the hell is up with that? Since the beginning of gaming, since the Magnavox Odyssey, you'd be able to take your games and just trade it or whatever give to someone, and I don't know why we as consumers are not ready for digital distribution all the way. Digital sales aren't where they need to be. I know it will be eventually, but this is not a good jump for them. And going down the road, all these games, being connected online, and I know a lot of them are dependent on the publishers and stuff. And 10, 20 years from now, when they're on to the next thing, are these games are they going to be playable, or are we paying $60 for a long-term rental? That's the question, and I don't know the answer to that, and I don't want to find out the hard way. So I don't know if I'll be picking up an Xbox.
Well, will your copy of Halo 5 work in 10 years? Yeah, it might not when the servers are all down or something. So who knows? So Chance, when Halo 5 gets released and that system's still at maybe $3.99 at that point, are you going in on it?
If I have the cash, yes.
He's going in. All it takes is Halo, baby.
I'm sorry. It's just one of them things. I mean,
You
I
can
don't know.
you can watch someone play it on Twitch, man, and you get the whole experience
Yeah, okay.
or something. I don't know.
I feel like that the Xbox One, and I could be entirely wrong in this, but I feel like
Yeah.
it's going to be the PlayStation 3 of this generation.
I'm getting the same vibes from it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the system you buy, and you only have a few games for it because you just bought it for the exclusives.
Yeah. So
Which
I
is-
would eventually like to own one, but just for those exclusives. But it'd be way down the road.
So are we ready
Anyways.
to? Are we ready to move on to EA? 'Cause that'll be quick.
Oh, we actually want to talk about them?
We
was
can
gonna
skip
get-
it. I mean, we can. Did they show anything that was of any interest?
Just Mirror's
Battlefront,
Edge too.
Mirror's Edge 2 and Battlefront.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's that's all that interests me.
And they're both
Did-
just trailers. So
Did the Battlefield 4 screw up happen during the Xbox or the EA
It was during the Xbox.
EA one? It was the Xbox one. Yeah, that was another big kind of blunder with the no sound and kind of sitting on. But the Xbox one was on live TV, so on live TV they're kind of like sitting there waiting for this game to start up, which was kind of funny. And they were almost going to cut the demo off and they were going to leave the stage, but
they finally
lucky
got
for them,
to
they got it working. Yeah. But other than that, EA.
it.
Yeah, the one thing I was
how about
waiting
Dragon
for was
Age.
Mirror's Edge. Yeah,
Dragon-
but was it just trailer again? A little
Yeah.
trailer.
Now, does EA? No. Where was the Elder Scrolls Online?
That
on
was the
PS3
PS4.
Or
That's
PS4.
PS4.
That's PS4.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wait till then. So yeah, EA. No, not really.
Now everything something that's going to be a common occurrence in every show was a racing game. There was racing games all over
Oh,
the place.
God. It's like
And EA did show off their racer. But my actually favorite racer, other than the Mario Kart 8, probably, that I saw was in the Ubisoft one, actually. I think that the more I looked at it, that racer, the crew, that's kind of growing onto me as like maybe the racer I might want to play next gen, other than a Need for Speed game and a Mario Kart. That looked very compelling to me.
Are we moving on to Ubisoft then?
Yeah, EA didn't really have nothing else, I guess, to talk about. They only showed 20 seconds of Battlefront, so I don't know what we could say about that.
I do want to make a quick comment to everybody that is outside the United States, because when they had Drake come on and introduce FIFA, because Americans cannot name a soccer player other than fucking David Beckham. So I apologize to the rest of the world for that.
So there you go. But yeah, they had sports. Sports. I can't remember what else they had.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had a lot of celebrities come on stage. They had some UFC fighters. They had the Drake guy and
That
stuff.
UFC one was awkward.
See, it was weird when all those UFC guys were out there. I was just hoping Stone Cold would come out there and stun all of them.
It's funny.
That would be amazing.
Diamond Dallas Page.
I don't understand why they bring out athletes to try to sell video games, because they're just stiff. They're awkward. It's like they don't even know what they're talking about. Just bring out a game designer and talk about the physics, which they did ad nauseum. That however long they talked about the physics of dribbling a basketball.
Oh my goodness, it seemed forever.
Yeah,
We've
sitting
been waiting
there
this
dribble
whole
that
time
ball.
for it. Like that's what's been missing in these games, man.
yeah. And like
Yeah.
talk about how like the players in Madden can now like shift their weight on. Like, does it really matter? Because you're still just pressing left or right on a control stick and hitting like X to throw the ball. Do these little do these little dice rolls really matter?
I will say during the I believe it was the EA press conferences when they showed the PopCap games and something about that new Plants vs Zombie, like Garden Warfare, really got me intrigued into it. Just it kind of had like a Team Fortress like team aspect to it.
But once again, they're just taking something and making a shooter out of it.
Yeah,
like that's their big innovation. It's like, oh, Plants vs Zombies as a shooter. You know,
it'll look neat. I'm sorry,
it'll
look neat. Right. I want to be the sunflower healing people.
Such a hippie.
Anyways, been going to Ubisoft because like I was saying, the crew, they showed that racer. Of course, they showed Assassin's Creed 4. And it had Aisha Tyler, the 8 foot tall black lady, like hosting the thing. I'm telling you, Chance, she was like 2 feet taller than any guy coming on the stage.
But
and talking
she is
about
really
the game.
tall, and then she had heels on. So
she did. I think she was trying a little too hard to be funny throughout the whole thing, when the jokes were kind of missing. I did her shirt #Girlwood. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So anything from the Ubisoft kind of jump out to you guys? Rayman Legends look beautiful.
Yeah, I need to get Origin. I want to get it for the Vita, but it's too expensive right now. They haven't lowered the price enough.
That the Vita stuff is kind of holding its price sometimes, like these used games on it.
Yeah.
So that looked good. That racer kind of looked good to me.
I think depending on how deep, like I just want to talk about the crew for a second because I'm not a big racer fan, but it looks like depending on how deep they go with the customization of the vehicles, like gearheads are going to be really into that.
Oh yeah,
because it looks like you can even break down the engine.
It looked insane, all the stuff you could break down. But the crew, for anyone who wants to know, it kind of had like a team aspect to it where it looks like you can go online and you can get a crew of like 4 other cars. You're kind of doing these separate missions, and then all of a sudden you meet up to do a final mission. It could be taking down another boss car or something. And then at the end of the demo, they had like several other crews just come up on them like they're about to duke it out. So it looks kind of crazy, but with all the driving games that were announced during this E3, if you're a fan of a racer, there's something out there for you. There's going to be a racer for you to get. So that's just one that kind of caught my eye. It
kind of reminded me of one of my favorite things in video games ever, and that is Little States from Pilot Wing 64, because it was like, they had the continent of, USA, but it was like shrunk and warped and stuff like that. And it just reminded me of playing like Pilot Wing 64 and flying from New York to San Francisco. And there was just something about that was so magical back in the day.
So I'm trying to think what else Ubisoft had. Did anyone else watch? I know they showed Just Dance because we really care about that. And the Rabbids, like interactive TV game kind of thing.
Which reminds me of like old Sega CD games.
Yeah. Splinter Cell Blacklist. Any interest by anyone there? I know we're talking about, I kind of, Chaos Theory was the top for me, and after that I kind of fell off from the series. Does Blacklist look like it might bring anyone of you guys in? Are you looking forward to it?
No, not really. If you guys played Conviction, it's more so like that, just the whole Jason Bourne, shoot up everyone in the room. That's just not what, Splinter Cell is about, and I don't know, a lot of people probably be more, engaging for newer fans that like shooters, but I don't know, the whole thing about Chaos Theory and the older Splinter Cell games just sneaking around. And I know there's still going to be some of that in the game, but just very toned down.
Yeah. I know, Dustin, you said you kind of fell off with the series too, right?
I loved the first Splinter Cell, but then I just never picked up any of the other ones.
Yeah. How about you, Chance? I never heard Chance talk about any Splinter Cell game before, so I don't know if he's ever tried one. You ever tried a Splinter Cell, man?
Never played one. I've seen it played a little bit. One of my old roommates had it for the original Xbox. I can't remember which one it was. Probably Chaos Theory or one of those. And he really liked it. And I enjoyed watching him play it. Trying really hard to not kill anyone. That kind of thing. And so it was kind of cool to watch, but it was just not something that I thought that I would have the patience for. Personally, but
so no Metal Gear and no Splinter Cell. So are you not like a stealth kind of guy? You like to rather
not
just
at all.
go and shoot?
I'd rather just shoot everything up.
He plays like every id game on the planet, so
yeah.
I'm more about go and kill. So
there you go, man.
I played Wolfenstein. Seriously, I played that when I was probably 6-7 years old. And that was kind of my start, and then I graduated to Doom and Duke Nukem 3D. So, there really wasn't, much room for stealth in any of those games.
Yeah.
It was either kill or be killed.
So were you a big fan of GoldenEye then, back in the day?
No, because I never had an N64 as a kid. Okay. But I was one of those that I did want to play, every time I went over to my friend's house that had one. It's like, well, let's play GoldenEye, because he had it. Or, I was really into WCW wrestling, too, so we played that a lot, too. Mm-hmm. But other than that, though, and seeing he had Turok also, but it was a little bit more, not really stealthy, but, you went longer between seeing people at times in the first Turok, at least as much as I can remember.
Yeah, it's kind of sparse.
Yeah, so it was a little bit kind of a step back, but pretty much Doom and Quake for me.
Yeah, I'm pro running in and shooting everything up too before stealth anyways as well, so I'm right there with you. But other than that, I think Ubisoft did have a game that really caught your eye, Dustin. You want to tell people about that?
The game is The Division, and it is look, I am not a multiplayer online person. Like I've never done it to any degree, and this might be this and Final Fantasy 14 Realm Reborn, and there was another one. What was the other one that we were talking about playing online? Destiny. Those three might be the ones that I'm like, all right, it's time to join the 21st century.
I'll tell you guys, when Dustin mentioned that on like Facebook, I was like, whoa, an online multiplayer shooter. Dustin's coming over to the dark side. Here he comes. But yeah, go ahead and you can tell him about it, man.
Yeah, it's just it's set in New York City after a large virus pandemic breaks out. And like right now you're probably thinking, "Oh god, it's got fucking zombies in it." No. This is a virus that just wipes people out. So like the entire order of civilization has just fallen by the wayside, and you play a member of this team that's kind of like this secret government agency that try to preserve civilization, and it's got so many, like, just watching the gameplay of it, I'm like, this is fantastic. And then it gets to the end because it's a co-op online game. Okay, so like Danny, Chance, and Steven and I will all be on a team together trying to work together to complete these objectives.
I'll be on the tablet.
Yeah, you can, I don't know how. Fuck that. No one's going to want to play on the tablet. I'm sorry. No one.
How would that work?
It's like, okay, I'll be on the tablet. I think when you're on the tablet, you play as like an aerial drone.
Like a support type of thing, probably.
And like you can throw down like buffs and debuffs and stuff like that onto enemies. But no one's going to want to do that. I mean,
no one cares.
Let's be serious. Everyone's going to be in there shooting. It's kind of like playing Star Wars Galaxy as a bounty hunter. No, everyone wants to be a Jedi. Where was I at? So anyway, you complete these objectives, and then you have to get extracted out of these areas. And when you fire off a flare to get extracted out, it starts down a timer, like a 90-second timer. And then, like, at the end of the demo, it just shows this other team coming in and, like, PvP.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So, like, all four of us would be on one team working together, getting really good at working together. And other people are doing the exact same thing, and it's a fight for survival. And there's just something about that. And it kind of goes back to my love of post-apocalyptic stuff.
I was going to say you had been on this like the decay of like America like movie stuff, and then this was like right up his alley. What he's in the mood for.
Yeah, like Netflix has really just kind of ruined me because I watched a thing on like decay of Detroit, and then I watched a documentary about Pruitt-Igoe, and I was just like, this came out, and I was like, this is perfect.
It was the little things in this game that seemed really cool to me as well. The way he opened the map system. And it was like a hologram on the ground. I was like, wow, that is awesome. Like how that map system worked. And then the RPG elements, the skill system. If anyone's used to Borderlands, you know about RPG element in a shooter. But this one looked a whole lot deeper than a Borderlands game. It is more military style type of shooter, so it's basic stuff like that. I don't think people have abilities where you're going to make them hover in the air and stuff. But just the whole, like Dustin was saying, the team aspect. And in this demo, they went in, and after they saved some guys, they unlocked an armory that gave them a gun. And she said, well, we better get out of here before you lose that gun. And I guess that's what the whole PvP aspect is, right?
I was watching a whole thing on it afterwards, just like not too long ago, and like it's like a loot-based. I mean, you loot. That's a big part of the game, is going around and looting the town and finding like you'll find like water, which is like a healing item, and food, which is like a buff debuff type thing.
This is kind of sounding like a DayZ now. If you guys had seen any of that,
But I'm sold on it. Like if I get a PS4, I'm getting it.
That would be really cool to team up, do something like that. It seems like a fun game, especially when that PvP aspect kicks in. Oh, man.
Another gaming podcast going through and saving New York City. Why not?
It'd be cool. I could just imagine how tense it will get at that moment when you're trying to get extracted and you're just like, oh my goodness, hurry up and get me out of here. Well, and you got people coming from everywhere.
They also talked about how PvP is going to be seamless.
Okay.
So, like, you could be doing a mission and somebody else can just like the thing of the extraction is it shows that where you're at, and if like you're getting extracted, people know
exactly
they got an item, they got something good. So, but you could run into PvP at any time in the game.
Well, stuff like that ticks me off sometimes. Like back in my World of Warcraft days,
Yeah.
I would hate when I'm out there leveling and I get ganked from behind or something. But man, just a gameplay aspect like that, it kind of looked like I didn't know if you could do missions without being interrupted, what we were seeing. And then once you're in that extraction mode is when the PvP opened up.
Yeah.
So I would kind of prefer it more like that. I would hate to be doing a
Well-
mission and then I get ganked in the back.
That would open. That'd be kind of weird though if it was only during the extraction because you wouldn't get there in time. You only have 90 seconds.
That's why it seemed weird where when they were at the extraction, it seemed like people were already there.
Yeah, maybe.
But I mean, I know it was a demo, but you never know.
Well, Steven, you said you didn't like that part. You probably wouldn't like Demon Souls or Dark Souls. They can just come in and kill you anytime.
Oh, I'm actually a huge Demon Souls and Dark Souls fan. Just no one can kill me in it, so I'm not worried.
Oh, okay. All right.
It warns you when they're coming in there. In this game, I don't have a warning that there's an enemy behind me.
Oh, all right.
But that's more realistic, Steven.
It is. I mean, it's going to create. I mean, talk about a game filled with tension and stuff in it. That'd be awesome. Chances does that sound like it would interest you at all? A game like that?
It sounds like it would frustrate me. Like, it sounds fun though. So I mean, I would probably be into it. It's just, I don't know. Like, I've never played any of the Borderlands, but I have Fallout 3, and I'd want to play that. So that's like, from what I understand about Fallout 3, that's kind of the way it is too. But just with the gameplay style of like post-apocalyptic kind of stuff.
When we get done, look up The Division.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Watch
look it up.
And I really want to play Rage too, because that's kind of the same kind of deal. Not as well done from what I heard, but it's an id game, and I had to buy it.
Yeah, I was getting made fun of yesterday for liking Rage. Chance.
Well, I'll play it.
Because Sony showed a game that kind of looked like Rage, and I was like, hey, cool. But
I'll play it, and I'll probably like it, but, I mean, whatever.
I feel like there was something else at the Ubisoft thing that I was really excited about. I can't remember what it was.
I'm trying to rack my brain to find out, but all I can really remember is The Division.
I know that kind of ran away with it.
And
Watch
Rayman.
Dogs. They showed Watch Dogs.
There you go. Yeah. They only showed the trailer for Watch Dogs
right.
there. Then
so you want to save Watch Dogs for PS4 then?
Yeah, because that's what's next anyway. Why don't we go ahead and go into the PS4? Unless y'all think of anything else, there weren't any other conferences, right?
I don't remember. I was in and out of that conference, so.
Yeah, I don't think there are anymore. So yeah, we can go ahead into Sony. Of course, what most of us agree kind of stole it away. They started off a little bit slow. They were talking about real quick over some PS3 and stuff. And I'll get a negative out of the way right away. I wanted to see some Vita support. Didn't really see that much in this conference, which is kind of disheartening. I know you got a new console coming, but man, I just would have loved to seen some more stuff on the Vita.
They've already said though that they have like 100 games in development for it. So
yeah,
if you pay attention, you know stuff's coming. It's just the wait. It's kind of like Wii U. It's just like the wait. You know.
They really need a price drop on that thing because in Japan they did it and it sold really well. So
yeah. That's what everyone's waiting on. I mean, I was waiting on, then finally I said, "Fuck it."
Yeah.
I know going into this conference, we were a little. I know I was a little worried because even this whole E3 was real concerning as far as the whole DRM and used games thing, and even going into the Sony. I think we kind of talked about it during it. Do we think they're going to mention anything about it? A lot of us thought no, and then eventually near the end, of course, they dropped the bombshell. But I got excited real quick when they started showing some of the indie games near the beginning because they actually had some really good indie games coming to the system.
Everybody is just like flipping out that not obscure. What's it called? Shit, the scary one. Outlast. Everyone's like going crazy that Outlast is on PS4.
I know.
Yeah.
I love that.
We were going crazy yesterday, and Dustin was like, "It's on PC," and I'm so tempted to go look it up and just try it and play it on my PC now, but I might want to keep it and let it be that PS4 game so I can play it on there. But yeah, I was really stoked when I saw those indie titles. Not as it's kind of disheartening when I saw the Vita stuff, but they also showed off their PS3 games that they still got coming out. Rain is one that really intrigues me. That's the type of stuff you're not going to find on Xbox. You're not going to find a game like Rain on the Xbox, which is something that's that's why I think I'm going with PS4 this gen.
Yep.
Other than the whole used game thing.
Well, it's just Sony came out and everything that they could do right, they did right. The only thing that they kind of stumbled on as far as PS4 goes is just the look of the system. But even then, when you really start getting into it, it looks a lot better than Xbox One. It's still a box, but it's got more design to it than Xbox One. I mean,
go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say, $399, no DRM, 500 gigabyte hard drive that can be removable and upgradable. You know, it's just like everything that they could learn from PS3, the pseudo failure of PS3, they learned it and they came out swinging.
I was listening to, I was watching Michael Pachter before some of the stuff today on game trailers, and he said from a close source, he asked him who would know the pricing of the PS4. He said, "Did you guys wait until you heard Xbox announce their price?" And the guy responded, "Well, let's just say we couldn't have dropped our price down to $34.99 or $349.99. So we're very happy that Microsoft announced the price point they announced."
Wow.
Yeah.
Because which says, hey, they were probably going to do it if Microsoft went at $399. They were going to cut down under them. And of course, Jack Trenton came on and did an interview with Jeff Keighley later on, which was an awesome interview, by the way. If you guys haven't seen that, he literally drops the mic again during the interview and walks away.
I saw that.
Oh, really?
But, or throws the mic.
He throws it over his shoulder, yeah.
Over the balcony. But it was he says in the interview that, you know, when you come into something like this, you have to have the business model laid out, and kind of saying that they did have the price set already. Yeah. It probably was set at $399, but I think they might have been prepared to drop if Sony or if Microsoft had a lower price.
I think with that price, I mean, we talk a lot about like Sony almost went under because of the PS3. Because even at what was it, 700 or it was 600? Even then, they were selling it at like a ridiculous, you know, markdown from what it actually should have been sold at, you know. But I think with the hype that's building around PS4, all the hatred for the Xbox One, Sony's going to do amazing this generation.
Absolutely.
But something that really jumped out to me because I'm really wanting to purchase my Wii U, like I said now, is when I went online to look up the price again. For some reason, I kept thinking the Wii U was $299 for the black one, and then I looked up, I was like, it's $349. Wow, it's only $50 less than a PS4.
They have to do a price drop.
It really made me think, like, wow, Nintendo, you need to do it, because there's no way you're going to hang with PS4 when it comes out for just $50 more. I was like, man,
if they were smart, they'd drop it down to $250.
Yeah,
$249. Oh, that'd be wonderful. I hope they do it within the next month or so for me.
Because
how much was that model they pulled from the stores?
$299.
$299.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
because for $50 more to get a PS4, Nintendo. I mean, I know they dragged their feet on the 3DS, and then once they did it, look at how the 3DS just flew out.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing with Sony with the Vita. They just need to drop it, get it in people's hands, and then look at all the users you have for that, you know, stuff that the PS4 is going to do with it.
Boom. Oh, yeah.
You know?
So I know, Chance, you were there for a little bit of the beginning. Was there anything you remember that kind of jumped out near the beginning for you for the Sony press conference that you might have liked?
I actually didn't see that much of the actual PS4 stuff. I kind of ducked out after they did the actual console reveal and talked about it for a little bit. And I actually couldn't hear it that well. For some reason, the volume on my computer wasn't really working that well, so I could hear you guys talking about it, but I couldn't really tell what was going on. So I saw some of the trailers for the PS3 games, and I was hopeful that they showed some Vita stuff. Because like I said earlier, I'm actually hopefully going to get a Vita maybe this year, maybe early next year, probably before I end up getting a PS4. So I was kind of hoping that I could see a little bit more on that. But I know some games are coming out, and like you guys have been talking about Ys Celceta, and I'm really wanting to get into the Ys series myself. And, we've been talking about it for a while now, and yeah, I need to play the Ys games. So Vita is looking really attractive to me, especially with as much as I like the 3DS, and just liking handhelds in general. And the way you guys talk about how powerful the Vita is and how awesome it is, I really just need one. But also,
I'm glad that they're not done making PS3 games too. Like Last of Us looks amazing, Rain looks amazing, and what was the other one? Diablo 3. I'm actually kind of excited to get to try that because I don't have a gaming PC, and nor do I want to spend the money on one right now. And I just actually watched your video, Stephen, where you're talking about Diablo 3 a little bit, and I'm really, really excited for that. And I think it's coming out for the PS4 also. So that's pretty exciting. I'm just glad that there's some PS3 games still coming out, especially because I just got the system just a few months ago, and it's really new to me still. And yeah, so other than that, though, I didn't catch much.
Supposedly they're going to be supporting the hell out of the PS3 still.
I hope so.
That's what I like about it.
They're like the only company that does that.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at the PS2. Like they just stopped making them like this year. Like they just quit making PlayStation 2s, and I wish that they had this kind of support still for the PlayStation Portable. To be honest, like I really wish that there was still like a lot of PSP stuff out there like readily available. It's like I know some places you can still go and buy one of the newer model PSPs for new, but I mean they're just not as prevalent. And hell, even the Vita stuff isn't prevalent. Especially in my area. I really got to look for that stuff. It's hard to find.
The cool thing about the Vita, though, is they have a lot of PSP titles on there to download. And I know it's downloading and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But for someone like you that lives out in the middle of quote-unquote nowhere, that's a good alternative.
And didn't they mention a little bit like the PS2 classics, too, a little bit? Like I just saw like a backdrop with some covers.
We saw a Dark Cloud picture back there, not sure what it meant.
I hope that means there's, going to be like a bunch of PlayStation 2 stuff available, either on just PSN in general for the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 3, but also hopefully for the Vita too.
Can you imagine the size of that shop on the PlayStation Store for the PS2 classics?
Yeah.
Good grief.
There's going to be like 10,000 games on there, like between PS1, PS2, PSP, and just, Vita and PS3 games you can get on there too. It's going to be like 10,000 games.
We're going to need a bigger Vita memory card if that happens.
A cheaper.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yes, and cheaper.
And go back to
Microsoft.
Wish... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, go back to Microsoft for a second. And like the only game they mentioned that's still coming on the 360 is like this indie title from Poland or Denmark or something. And like, seem like that's all they have left. And with the PS3, and they're still rolling with the Beyond Two Souls, Last of Us, and Tales of Exilio. Who knows how many more JRPGs are coming here? I know there's probably some we don't know about, so that's cool.
When we were talking about Xbox, we forgot to talk about The Witcher.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Witcher 3, and that Kinect only game by the Deadly Premonition guys. I forgot what it was called though.
And that Rome game, whatever that was.
The Rise,
that was kind of boring.
It just looked like a generic hack and slash. So I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Didn't jump to me, but yeah, like I said, Witcher 3. I didn't pay attention during that part. I think that's when I got up to go cook my pizza rolls because I don't know. I didn't pay attention to it. But yeah, Witcher 3. So back on to Sony, the good conference. I think we all got. I think it was kind of mellow.
Just the pause. Witcher 3 is PlayStation 4 as well. So there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I think we really started getting excited during the Sony conference because I know it was kind of slow starting and stuff, and we would see some stuff we expected. Then they went to their spiel about the TV. But I think we started getting really excited when that Square Enix announcement came up. Yeah. And our buddy Dustin here, he made some spot on like
I've been saying they're going to retitle that game for like months now.
Yeah,
because it just makes sense because they don't. What Fabula Novalis Crystal, it's done. Whatever that was, it's done. So Versus outlived that.
Even at the beginning of the podcast, you had called it. You called a couple things during this podcast that were dead on. But I think that's when we all started getting really hyped during this conference. Would you guys agree? When you saw that announcement come up, did you not get super excited seeing that name change, or the game still existed in gameplay?
Yeah, it'd probably be the latter. Just seeing that it's still around and coming sometime soon, maybe, it got me
Dustin?
Ooh, sorry, I was yawning. Yeah, I know. I was really excited to see Versus still existing, and then when I said, they're going to retitle this 15, and then they did, I was like, yeah. So.
And I really enjoyed I'm loving how the combat system looked in it. No, it's not your traditional game. Chance, I don't know if you had any chance to look up anything on 15 yet. It looks more like an action-based, kind of Kingdom Hearts-based type of system. And it looked seamless to me, and it looked fun and beautiful. It looked like a great Final Fantasy game to me. It is a big change. Like, these games have been changing, as you saw with the 13 series. They're going through a lot of changes. So if you're to the tried and true formula from back in the past, it's not going to be like that in this one. So we'll see how people adopt it. Do you think people are going to adopt the way they're kind of heading with the combat system in these games? Okay.
Well, I think so. Yeah, a lot of people can probably agree. Kind of, falling off a bit in popularity, and just a very drastic change, in 13, and they can change it up some more. Who cares? As long as there's a good story and characters, I'm all in.
How about you, Dustin? Because I know you really enjoyed the SNES titles. Like 6 is your favorite.
Yeah.
It looks like they're moving away from their classic turn-based system. How's that sitting with you?
You know what? Final Fantasy has just done this over and over again. Like, I expect it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't ever think we're going to get another turn-based, classic. Now, here's the thing, though, that a lot of people forget. Final Fantasy Dimensions on iOS. If you want the classic Final Fantasy, it's right there. It's $30, but it's a 60-hour game, and it was excellent. So, if Square can continue to if they make a Final Fantasy Dimensions 2, I'm downloading it. It was that good. So if they keep making the classic experience, that's fine. And if, that's the thing about it. I have like 4 different versions of Final Fantasy VI. So if I want to go back and play old school Final Fantasy, I have various means of doing it. So that's the thing about Square is they keep bringing out the older games. Like they're getting ready to release, 10 again. So, they can do stuff with the new games, but they keep bringing out the old ones just to sort of, remind people that, this series is, really old.
And then it goes from there to Kingdom Hearts 3, and this is a short trailer, which I think everyone was kind of expecting once they said they had something else to show. And I know who was it? Was it Scott yesterday with us who said he hadn't played any in the series yet?
Yeah.
It's the series has been going on for a while now, but I'm happy to see a third game and I think Dustin brought it up yesterday. Are we ready to see this series end? Chance, have you played any of the Kingdom Hearts games?
Nope.
We are going to talk about a series that you played sometime during this podcast that's coming out. We're going to find one, and you're going to love it. When we get to Nintendo, that might be your spot. You played Mario games, so there you go.
Yeah, you just got done with the month of Mario.
A couple of them.
But I think like we were saying yesterday, I'm ready to see this thing wrap up with, if not the whole thing, at least Sora's story. They can just do some other stuff if they want.
Goofy.
I think the name is too recognized to them just to say, okay, Kingdom Hearts is done. But I think as far as like Sora, Kairi, and Riku, and Ansem, I think that's all going to be done with this third. If it's not done with this third game, then I'm going to okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Unless it's like totally badass, and then you won't be.
Yeah, I know. It ends on an amazing cliffhanger, and I'm like, fuck.
I'm just glad there's another console Kingdom Hearts. The portable titles are great, but just something about them that's missing. And I know everyone's been wanting it.
It'd be cool to see how they go with it. Like if I know most of the Kingdom Hearts games are you travel to a world and you play that world. I'm wondering if we're going to see maybe a mix-up in this one, if they go for a more open world type of aspect, or how they're going to do it. Let's see if they do a big change like that. Looks like they're keeping the same type of combat system, but I'd be curious to see if they make any big changes like that, or if it'll still be the same old tried and true, just travel to this planet, do this thing. So it'd be cool to see where they go with it, but I'm sure that game is years away from getting any light of day shown for a release date or anything.
I wouldn't expect either of those games, not until I wouldn't expect Final Fantasy 15 until holiday 2014.
Or aren't they getting ready to come out with a third 13 game?
Yeah, it's in February.
Yeah, 15 probably won't be for a while then.
Yeah.
So do we want to talk about the disappointing thing about that reveal right there?
For which Sony's whole thing, or
for Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah.
yeah?
Well, it's not really disappointing, but it's like it kind of takes the wind out of Sony's sails a little bit.
Yeah, if you want to tell them, because I think we were really excited yesterday because of what we thought of these games, and then Dustin told us today that
they are not exclusive to the PlayStation 4. Both games are in development for Xbox One, which is kind of weird because all along Versus was a PlayStation 3 exclusive. You know, and Kingdom Hearts has never, other than like Nintendo, it's always been a Sony or a Japanese-based system. So to see Kingdom Hearts in one of those green boxes is going to be kind of weird.
Yeah.
it will be, because if you're an Xbox person or something, unless you had all the consoles, you're not going to know anything about what's going on.
And that's the thing.
So,
I think the Xbox user that's the diehards that are going to buy Xbox One are not interested in Final Fantasy 15 or Kingdom Hearts.
I agree.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird move, but it's Sony covering Square covering their asses.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. They need all the cash they can get.
I was gonna say they just want to sell it, so I find it hard to be totally upset about that, just because I understand. I mean, I'll be buying for the PS4, but that's because I'll have a PS4 before I have Xbox One. But I get it. I get why they are doing it, though.
I get it as well. It just seems kind of weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, seems really weird. So that was kind of disheartening when they said that. But I guess we can go on what they ended the show with. I can't remember what they filled in there. They showed The Order, which was just a trailer, but we don't know much about that game. Looked really steampunkish and cool, but
I can't remember who was talking about it now. I think it was Chargeback Forward in their response to the Sony E3. They talked about one of the characters was named Lancelot, and what if it's like this steampunk retelling of the Legend of King Arthur or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if that's really what it is, but what if it could be something like that?
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool.
Unique.
Yeah. So then they showed again. They showed Assassin's Creed 4, and I think we all just kind of fell asleep during that.
Yeah, I think we talked about something else.
Yeah, we did. I think we talked about Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts during that.
It was funny, but I know they showed that. The thing was that got me with that conference was, I know, and we'll get into Destiny here in a second.
We have to talk about Watch Dogs too.
Yeah, Watch Dogs and Destiny. They might not have showed all the exclusives that we might have hoped or wanted for it, because I know Xbox One probably had more. But they told me what I wanted to hear, and they showed me what I wanted to see, which was the Final Fantasy games. And then when they dropped the bomb with they support used games, the whole diagrams, the whole backdrop they had put up, where they had standing applause for 60 seconds, and it went on for about 4 minutes. It was just awesome how they just literally slapped Microsoft in the face.
And you want to know the crazy thing? Microsoft, there was an interview with one of the guys from Microsoft, and they're just like, we're not interested in a sprint. We're interested in the long run. And I was like, the starter pistol is shot, and you fucking tripped. You better catch up somehow. They're so arrogant, it seems like.
Oh, so arrogant. And I think a guy today who I saw on the Facebook had put PlayStation 4 had a lot of nerve to say something like that and you can tell this is one of those young bucks, because they weren't alive back in the day when the Nintendo and Sega were battling out, so they're not used to it, I guess. But they said they had a lot of nerve saying something like that. It showed no class, no character. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Really?
You've got to be kidding me. This is video game press conferences.
Apparently
it's video games for one thing.
Apparently they weren't alive during that 16-bit war.
Yeah.
I got nasty.
And we hadn't seen anything like it since then, and I thought it was great. And another thing they were pointing out is, well, with that interview with Jack Tretton today, they asked him, is there going to be a DRM thing set up sometime? And he said, Sony first party, we're not supporting any of that. We're not going to have it on our games.
But it is up to the publisher, so EA can still do their online passes if they want.
They can. And people were making a big deal about that, saying, well, he lied to us on the stage. He said they would block used games. So
they're not watching it, but
that's EA. Yeah, that'd be EA or Capcom doing it.
Yeah. And even then, I think the EA passes and stuff now are just for multiplayer stuff. I mean, I can still play my game, but yeah, if EA or someone wants to implement you can't play the game unless you put the code in, that's on them. So don't get on Sony for
Well, that goes back to
that.
something I said earlier, is that I wouldn't be surprised if EA just drops PlayStation 4 support.
Like we're saying, it's we had heard rumors that it's getting pretty weak, the support with EA in that console, and as you can tell by the Microsoft and EA press conferences, I mean they get a lot of exclusive stuff for Microsoft.
They've already dropped Nintendo, so I wouldn't be surprised if this really breaks down with like the Xbox being like very Western American oriented, and then the Japanese companies being very Sony. It kind of going into like a xenophobic stage.
And speaking of Japanese, another thing you told us today, it's region free, which is amazing.
Amazing.
So, but yeah, we can go ahead and go into Watch Dogs. I know if Scott was here, he'd be all out for it. I know, Danny, are you kind of excited for that one, or?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm mostly more curious just to see how, it looks like it's going to play well, or I wouldn't say play well, but it looks like it's, very unique, and I just want to play it myself and just to see how the mechanics work. I can see it seems like, I don't know, seems like you can do a lot, but I just want to see how much you really can do in a game as far as the hacking stuff. Seems like a lot of things going on at once. Could be hectic.
It did seem kind of busy. I know, like we were talking about yesterday, Dustin, like I still don't know like what the story is or what's going on, who you are or anything. I just know you're in an open world and you have a phone that you're hacking into stuff, and now you have partners who I guess you control sometimes too. I don't know.
Yeah. It just seems like one of those games that I'm going to put in and play it for like 5 hours or so, and then I'm going to walk away from it and not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not too excited about it, to be honest with you. It just seems like the concept is so big that there's no possible way the game can live up to that concept.
Yeah. And even when it was first announced, I wasn't too hyped with it. And I keep trying to compare it with GTA because it just kind of looked like that. But, I mean, can you get in a helicopter and fly to a roof? I don't know. All we keep seeing is him getting in a car sometimes and walking on foot. So can you actually run over a person, a civilian? I don't know. Probably can't. I don't know. I mean, it looks beautiful. You have your phone that you can hack into things, but like Dustin said, unless I can use that phone to do some fun things once in a while, just to have a good time, I probably wouldn't put 5 hours into it. So I don't know. Just don't know much about the actual game, I guess. Chance, have you seen anything on Watch Dogs or video or anything? Does it intrigue you at all, any?
I haven't seen or heard anything. I don't know anything about it.
Hey. Well, if you want to hear anything about Watch Dogs, maybe I think Scott said some stuff on it yesterday about his excitement. Listen to that podcast. It looked beautiful. It looked like a really nice game. And like Dustin said, it looks like it's got some big aspirations. So, we'll see. Dun, dun, dun. Everyone's still there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It was some real awkward pause. Anyways, let's get into, because I want to go over what we thought is our game of shows, and this could be a contender. Destiny. I know, Dustin, you were going into this really excited, wanting to see what's going on with it. I was excited for it. Satisfied with what you saw?
I'm very satisfied with what I saw. I think Destiny is. I mean, I want to see more. When you see a game, and as much as they showed of it, and you're like, "Fuck, I need to see more," because it's not just the USMC versus the Covenant. It's the humans versus like 4 other factions, and all these factions are fighting together. And it's just like, what? I don't know how it's going to work. There's this online component to it, and it's just it boggles the mind. It's definitely really going to be a massive game.
How about you, Danny? Man, did it excite you any? Was it one you were really looking forward to seeing?
Well, I didn't know too much going into it. I thought it was just, okay, Bungie, another shooter, probably a Halo ripoff. I really didn't know much about it, but when I saw it, definitely got me intrigued and just very, very interesting. Like Dustin said, all the different factions just look really cool. It just seems more than just, who's better at shooting in the middle of the screen, which seems like a lot of first-person shooters these days, and that's why I've been playing a lot of them. But when it tries to do something a little different, and if it's more sci-fi and all these cool different weapons and vehicles and creatures, it got me more interested.
Were you able to look up anything on it yet, Chance, or see the video on it yet?
I haven't watched the latest one, but I've seen some stuff in the past, like when they first announced the game, several months ago, and I've seen a little bit here and there, and it looks awesome, and I have faith in Bungie, even though they're not making the Halo games anymore, and I don't really know what all went into that, but I have faith that they can make a good game because I know that there's, several Halo games that are very, very good, and I love them a lot, and I know that that Bungie is capable of making a really good game, and I don't fear it being just a Halo ripoff. I think it really will have its own identity and its own whatever its own world and atmosphere. I think it'll be really great.
And even getting a little bit of the lore of it, like that orb that they show over the planet, what that actually is. You kind of learn about that. I need to know about this universe. And the fact that it's a class-based shooter, but it doesn't really, I don't know. It's not like, I don't feel like it's as rigid as, like, say, like Battlefield or something like that, where you're a medic or, something like that.
What seemed cool that jumped out to me is, because I was excited for this too, and this was like the actual first gameplay we saw of it, and I loved how the two guys playing it from Bungie were up there, and
they wave to each other.
Well, yeah, and they of course they know, like, the area they're going to play. But, the one guy dies in it, and I don't know if it's even scripted, but it was just so cool how it seemed like it was two guys just hanging there having fun playing the game as the demo. And it looked beautiful, like we were saying during it, the draw distances and the lighting, like, especially when they went into that warehouse. It just looked gorgeous. Yeah. Oh, such a beautiful looking game.
Chance, I think if you watch that video, you might not, think about it right now, but I think eventually, like, when you play that game, your lust for Halo might just abate a little bit.
It might drop a notch.
Yeah. You might be like, oh, here we go.
Well, if Destiny can grow into as good of a series or better a series than Halo, then I'm all for it. Yeah. I'm all for another series that another sci-fi series that is just as good because I do love that so much, and I really do wish that there was more games like Halo in that sense, not necessarily carbon copy, same kind of game but different characters. That's not what I mean. I just mean like as much as I'm into the universe of Halo and the sci-fi part of it.
I'm just trying to mitigate my losses because I know that, like, not buying an Xbox, I'm really going to miss Halo. So I'm really trying to convince myself that Destiny is just going to wipe that slate clean.
And you know what? I'm hoping Bungie, and I'm hoping Bungie goes all in with this game. Like, when I first saw it and they're walking us through the world there, I actually got a Mass Effect feeling too. And Mass Effect has its comic books and it has its book series too, with books coming out. I hope Destiny can be like that with Halo in the books. I hope it'll be that big.
I think they're planning on it. I think I read that somewhere. They're planning on it.
Well, that's awesome. I'd love to read those books, find out more about it. Of course, it's young right now. We don't know anything about really the story or nothing, but I'm so intrigued in it. And if anything, it's more, I don't think, I was saying earlier, like yesterday, Division and Destiny kind of look like they might be competing for the same people, but in a way, Destiny kind of sort of feels more like a Borderlands-ish, not like Destiny. The Division. But Destiny just looks way better than a Borderlands as far as it takes itself more seriously. It's in a sci-fi setting as far as the world and stuff, and the way the class system works. They had the class-based system, like I think yesterday we saw a Warlock, and it was in first person, correct? And then when they did that special move, it went to third person to do the move.
Right.
Okay. So the classes look awesome. They had loot in the game when they killed this kind of mini-boss. And then another cool aspect of it was right when they were done with that boss fight, they go out into the world again, and all of a sudden you see this big spaceship come out of nowhere. And the spaceship drops off this enormous, like another boss or something, and it says public session started. And you see all these other guys just swarm in, and I'm guessing they're going to be online players to help do this like public mission of taking down this huge boss. And some were like flying on these like futuristic motorbikes or whatever. It just looked awesome. It looked like a lot of fun.
It almost kind of reminds me of that Dust 514 that's on PSN. Have you guys played that at all?
No.
I haven't yet.
So I downloaded it because it was free to play. I think it still is free to play. And like, there's quite the universe that goes along with it. I just don't think there's any campaign with it. Like, I think it's all multiplayer online.
Yeah,
so I didn't play it for very long, just because I was kind of disappointed when I found that out. I was like, oh man, I was actually kind of hoping this was, like a story. And see, and I got that same kind of vibe like you guys are talking about with Destiny. Almost like a, not, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just like a new world kind of, the new sci-fi kind of thing, but it's just multiplayer. So I was kind of disappointed by that.
Yeah, this looks like it's just going to have, it can be single player, co-op together for the story, doing a quest, and then it looks like it's going to have a multiplayer aspect as well. I mean, it's supposed to be, I don't know if it's an MMO or not. I don't really know much about that. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about it, though. So
yeah,
can't wait.
What do you guys think about? Have you looked into pictures of the game cases?
I saw the PS4 one. The kind of looks like a Blu-ray kind of one, right? Blue.
Yeah, but it's blue. Yeah.
Yeah, looked fine to me. I mean, I didn't get a close-up of one though.
Let me see. Xbox.
Is the Xbox just like green? I see some pictures, but I don't know if that's confirmed.
Yeah. Well, if that's the if these are the case, yeah, it's like a Blu-ray case, except it's green colored.
Okay.
So they're both gonna be
thinner and smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you, but I think that Xbox, and I've thought about this since like the Xbox is the first Xbox. Can't say Xbox One anymore. The first Xbox. Like, there's just something about those green cases that ruins the artwork.
The green, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I kind of grew used to it with the 360 since I have so many.
Yeah. But like I go into GameStop, right, and I look at like Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2 on PS3 with that the black PS3 label, and then I go over and look at it on like 360, and it has that garish green case and the green logo, and it's just like it clashes completely with the artwork. I don't know. That's just that's just an aesthetic thing for me.
I don't know. It's not a big a deal for me, but I really like the PAL PS2 cases that that they're blue. So the PS4 cases being blue, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think I'm finally with you, Dustin. I think that the Platinum Hits cases for the 360 look awesome.
They look so much better.
Like the clear gray. I think they look cool. They should go with that. Drive all the OCD collectors nuts. Oh, look, we got gray ones now.
But of course, I guess to wrap up the Sony one, they announced, I guess, the price at $399, which was one of the greatest things to hear, other than the used games thing. Really good price to start off. So, I mean, I'm stoked about the PS4. I wasn't stoked about PS3 last generation, and I'm stoked about PS4 this gen.
You were actually trying to talk me out of buying a PS3, Steven.
I was?
Yeah. You're like, nah, don't buy it, man. It's just got a few exclusives on it.
That's actually what I'm buying all my games for right now is PS3.
I know, which is why I think it's funny after I heard you say that not too long ago. It's like, man, you told me not to get a PS3.
The exclusives are what it was for. I wouldn't get my multi-platforms for it still.
Last of Us, man. Last of Us. That's going to do it right there.
Yeah. But the exclusives are where it's at on that thing. So I guess should we go ahead and, I don't know where we are in time-wise so far, but should we go ahead and get Nintendo in here? Their little direct conference?
Yeah.
So, like I said, what were you saying, Danny?
No, like if anyone got to see it, because half the country, I know the streaming was terrible for everyone.
Oh my goodness, yeah, the stream was so bad. I know we were trying to watch it this morning, and I
watched
just
it perfectly on YouTube. 2
that's
hours later.
I did the same thing, Dustin. An hour and a half later, after it was over, I went online and watched it on YouTube without any hiccups. I think Danny suffered through the whole.
Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing. I missed like the whole X trailer, which was disappointing, and it just skipped around. I was like, yeah, screw it.
But it was like I said in the beginning, it showed off the games that caught my eye more than a lot of the other systems as far as the exclusives and stuff. I'm excited about Destiny and Final Fantasy 15 and stuff like that, but there's something about these core set of first-party Nintendo games that always bring just a little bit of cheer to my heart when I see them, and I love seeing the new entries in the titles. And they started off with showing Pokemon X and Y. I know, Chance, you're probably pretty hyped about those.
Not really.
No?
I used to be a lot more into Pokemon. Now it's just kind of a casual thing. So I haven't bought Black, White, Black and White 2. I haven't bought any of those. So
Well, they showed off the
I can do it
trailer for
without.
that, and you can pet your Pokemon now. I think.
Oh, that makes me feel good.
I think that's what I was getting from the trailer. But they went from that then straight into the new Super Mario 3D World, which I thought looked really cool. I thought it looked the new cat suit. I think it looked really neat. What about you guys?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I really liked the 3D land on the 3DS, and I was hoping for a sequel soon. And I'm seeing all this co-op in it. It looks really neat.
I'm
I
pretty
might
excited.
be the okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Chance.
I'm just saying, I'm pretty excited.
I might be the only one in the entire country that thinks this. I think that cat suit is fucking stupid.
I was wondering why I hadn't heard you comment on it yet all day.
I
It's
think
like,
that they are scraping the bottom of the barrel for that shit. You know, it's just like, okay, I get the gameplay aspect of it, and you can climb walls and that kind of stuff, but it just looks dumb. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
It looked like a Tanuki suit, pretty much. What's the difference?
There's a big difference.
Except you're a kitty.
Then at Easter they can have like the bunny edition. You can dig into holes and stuff.
It's just like, I don't know. In some ways, I think Mario's getting a little like, it's kind of like how Sonic is really gimmicky.
Yeah.
I think like Mario is starting to get very, very gimmicky, and I think that's wasn't that kind of the refreshing. I haven't played 3D Land, but wasn't that kind of the refreshing thing about it? Is it kind of took it kind of back to basics?
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty much 3D Land, but bigger.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm getting from this game, and I really like 3D Land.
I'm sure Sarah will throw a fit when she listens to this about not liking the cat suit, but I don't like the cat suit.
It looked like an overpowered suit, so I mean, because like you said, you're climbing up walls and stuff.
It removes the platforming from the game.
Yeah, which is what Mario's supposed to be about, the platforming.
Yeah, so I don't know.
We'll see.
I mean, when I play it, because I'll probably get it, you know, maybe I'll love it, but right now it just looks dumb.
Maybe it should have been like a time power, like you only get for 30 seconds, like a star or something, so you're not overpowered through the game, but who knows. Still hyped for that one. But they had 4 players playing it, which is a new thing for a 3D based Mario game. And I think we're all hoping like we're going to get online and play together. And I heard during the E3 All Access, all they said was local co-op. They didn't mention online co-op. So hopefully you would think, I mean, I would think there's no excuse by now, Nintendo. If it's multiplayer local, there should be no excuse to make it online. Well, I don't understand it.
They built the system to be sort of a party, like sit around. I mean, from the word go, seeing the Wii U, it was one person sitting with the gamepad and 3 other people sitting with the nunchucks, you know. So
then they said all this stuff about how they're trying to have one of the better online networks in it too, though. So I don't know.
They're just,
And then what they go into next? After that one, they go into Mario Kart 8 next.
I think that's what it was. Mario Kart 8.
Then they showed up Mario Kart 8, which made Dustin angry again because he'd rather see other games. Not happy with what they're showing.
Yeah, one, I'm not a big Mario Kart fan, and 2, when you watch these things you watch the trailer for it and the gameplay of it, they're driving around in like 0G and stuff like that. It just pissed me off because how long has it been? It's been since the GameCube since we had an F-Zero game.
Yeah.
And it's like, just looking at those tracks, it's like, that's fucking F-Zero. in Mario's, you know, his Mario Kart there, the wheels pop out like the DeLorean in Back to the Future 2, and it's like a hovercraft now, and he's like zipping around. It's like fucking F-Zero, you know? Just make the damn game.
And I thought it looked awesome, of course. It looked like fun. Because I enjoyed Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS, so I'm enjoying taking it to the Wii U, customizing the karts and stuff out, and racing online. Should be a good time. Chance, were you looking forward to that one too, or just mainly 3D World?
I haven't. I actually haven't played very much Mario Kart. I have the Super Nintendo one, but I've never been a huge fan of it. But and I never played much F-Zero either. But I recently got the Super Nintendo one, and I absolutely love that. And so I don't know if it's anything like that. I guess, you know, in the same vein like Dustin's saying. It's pretty much F-Zero with Mario, and I guess it'd probably be pretty fun, but I don't know. Not something I'm going to rush out and buy, though.
Yeah. And then I believe they went from there to the Wind Waker HD,
Yeah. That.
Wow.
I'm not. I don't know. I feel two ways about it. Like, one, I already have the Wind Waker and I've already beat it. But on the other hand, it's like it looks so fucking good that like you want to go back and play it again in HD.
Yeah, it's coming out so soon too, like October, like just around the corner.
Really close, yeah. That's one of the things pushing me to get it right now.
That's what I say. That's why Nintendo has such a hand up and possibly, could do so many good things because their console's already out. They should have the kinks worked out and be pumping out games like crazy, and they're not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they got the first party stuff coming, just that third party support. Which, man, during that second game trailers interview stuff with Reggie and stuff, he was really hammering Reggie on this third party stuff, trying to ask where it's all at.
Yeah.
But like we were saying, Wind Waker HD, it looked beautiful. I mean, stunning, the graphics in it, and they're implementing some type of message in a bottle system that was like okay, but didn't really interest me.
Yeah, since I didn't use Tingles whatever in the first game, I think I could skip that too.
And they also said they're implementing things to like make the controls and stuff easier. I'm guessing that's going to be with the boat. I don't know, but
I think it looks like it was speeding it up.
Yeah, I saw that speeding up.
Yeah, that game has my favorite version of Zelda. Once Tetra gets into the full Zelda outfit, like I love that version of Zelda. I don't that little cartoony Zelda girl. I love that. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's crazy how that game went from being
hated,
so frowned upon, to I think it's becoming one of the more beloved Zelda title entries now.
Yeah,
like in a lot of top 3s or top 5s for the series.
I actually would like them to go back to that style and make another one like that, because there was just something about that was just the most expressive Zelda, like Link's facial expressions and I don't know, just the way the characters. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it wouldn't bother me one bit if they used that art style. And I think they tried to ask Miyamoto how the graphics were going to be in the next Zelda entry, and he said he couldn't comment on it or not, but. I mean, how it looks with these cel-shaded graphics, I wouldn't be surprised. It'd be cool if they did do it like that, of how much it pops on an HD screen.
Yeah.
But who knows? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think what they went into next after Wind Waker.
They
showed some third-party stuff.
Yeah, which is like...
The Donkey Kong after that? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, they did show... Yeah, Donkey Kong.
I didn't know... Yeah, they did show the new Donkey Kong platformer, which I'm a huge Donkey Kong fan, so I thought it looked great. I know, again, I think Dustin was disappointed that it wasn't another game.
All along, all this, the lead up to this, we're like, Retro's working on a game. And everyone's like, Metroid. And it's like, another Donkey Kong game.
No, we just had one come out like 2 weeks ago.
It's
freaking Metroid, man.
God, the thing about it is I'm probably going to get that Donkey Kong game, and I'm probably going to love it. Okay, I'm not hating on the Donkey Kong game. What I hate about Nintendo is they have a lot of great franchises that are just setting in the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
Like Star Fox. Fuck it. I want an HD Star Fox on my big screen. And I don't want it to be some little adventure where he's running around with a dinosaur. I want to be in an R-Wing, and I want to fucking blow shit up.
Well, let me do it this way, because we saw the stuff they announced this year, and we'll talk more about the others. Would you have been say they probably do have a Star Fox in the work, but say they probably do have an F-Zero in the work, but they might be timing those for a 2015-ish kind of window. Would you have wanted to see like a little snippet saying, "Hey, we know about you and we're making it," or do you care to see anything?
What I would love to see is I would love to see like what EA did with Battlefront, and then just put 2015.
Okay.
Just have like Captain Falcon come out, Falcon punch somebody, get in his car and zoom off, and it leaves 2015 on the track.
See, because I don't think anyone. Well, I'm trying to think. Yeah, they've announced stuff like 2 years ahead of time and stuff like that before. They're doing it this year, so that would have been cool to see stuff like that.
Yeah, just teaser stuff, because I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of something that's been teased for years, and then finally we got it, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Like Star Trek In the Darkness. It's been teased for years, since at least 2011. So that's been 2 years I've been waiting for that thing. So I mean,
the teaser. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just do it. Say it's coming, and people be like, okay, I don't know.
But yeah, they did show the Donkey Kong. Were you a Donkey Kong fan, Chance? Were you excited about a new Donkey Kong entry?
um,
Don't
well,
you say it. Don't you say
I played Donkey Kong Land on the Game Boy, and I loved it. But see, I never had a Super Nintendo as a kid. Never had an N64. I didn't have any of that stuff. So when I see these newer ones coming out now, while they look fun, I just don't have the same nostalgia that a lot of other people have with it. Now, with that said, I really do want to get the new one on the 3DS. And my sister-in-law has the one for the Wii, Donkey Kong Country Returns, and my 3-year-old nephew is like a total beast at that game. Like I could just sit there and watch him play this, and I'm like, oh my god, you're 3. How are you doing this? How are you doing this? But yeah, I'm not that excited. Sorry.
Oh well. Well, we'll just go ahead and go into the thing I was most excited about at the Nintendo one, and that was the X trailer. We're showing more gameplay. So excited. But before we talk about that, I want to know how your package opening went today, Chance. Like your reaction.
Oh my god. Actually, I didn't even open it. My wife opened it. I was at work.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was at work and she was home for lunch. I told her to. I said, go ahead and open it. And she's like, well, what do you think it is? I was like, well, Dustin sent me, this Doom 3 making of book. And I said, okay, just open it up. Just let me see it, thumb through it. I just want to see what's in it because I hadn't seen inside the book yet. And she's like, is that all you got? I was like, well, I think so. And she freaking pulls out Xenoblade Chronicles out of this package. And I was sitting there like, oh my god, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Oh man. You're an asshole, you know that?
Look, it was $45. You're never going to find it for that price ever again.
Not ever, and I thank you so much for that, and I appreciate it so much, and now I just have to figure out how to pay you back. So
you gotta play it.
Blowies and handies.
Okay, well, either you gotta fly to Kansas or I gotta fly to wherever you are.
Yeah.
To get that done. So.
I just wanted to hear that because that was awesome when he showed those pictures to us, and then he told me he was going to send it to you and stuff. I was like, wow, that is an awesome guy, an awesome friend to be able to do something like that. So because he could have easily turned around and just sold it for $120 online. Well,
that's
like no.
Yeah, that's just so amazing, and I'm just so stoked. I'm in the club now. I feel like I've joined the cool kids club.
You have all the Operation Rainfall games.
Hell yeah. And 2 of them came from you.
So I forgot you.
A friend in Weed is a friend in Seal. I still have my Xenoblade. Yeah, I have another copy sealed.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. You got that sealed, and that's awesome.
So I played like 4 hours of Pandora's Tower, but that's about it, though. I haven't put in the other 2.
Yeah.
You'll like the other 2 more.
Yeah. I have a feeling that you're probably right because I was just talking to somebody else about this today, actually.
To be honest,
I really love Pandora's Tower. I do. But there's parts of it, and I think that you guys, at least, well, I think all 3 of you, you've all 3 finished it, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all 3 of you experience the same issue that I have with it, and just some of the controls and stuff just drive me nuts. So I just got annoyed and quit playing it. So I just put it on the shelf.
And when you beat the first 5 dungeons and then you start the next 5 and they're almost exactly the same, you just kind of want to give up.
Actually, Chance, I think you're going to like the last story the most.
I think you will too.
I think you will.
It's short.
I think you might find Xenoblade to be a little bit too big, and you're going to play it, and then you're going to put it up for a while, then you're going to play it, and you're going to put it up for a while.
Well, I hope that I enjoy them both immensely, since they were both gifts, and very, very, very highly praised by all 3 of you. So I hope that I can enjoy them half as much as you guys. But yeah, Pandora's Tower just wasn't what I needed at that moment, I guess, in gaming.
No worries. But yeah, like I was saying, they did show X, and I mean, I'm so stoked for that game. We got kind of like a soft release date for 2014, but no spring, fall, summer, nothing like that. But just to know that it's going to be here next year, I'm so excited for that game. I'm hoping what I've seen, it says it had like a player 2, 3, 4. It'd be so cool. It's supposed to be this open world now. I'd love to play that game with somebody like Dustin or Danny or Chance online. If we're taking down monsters or whatever together, I could care less. Anything with X in it, Monolith Soft, it just looks amazing. It looks so beautiful.
The draw distance, like, when you're playing on the Wii, and the amazing draw distance, and if you can see it, then you can get there. And then just to see that in HD is, like, mind-blowing.
Yeah. Really beautiful game. What about you, Danny? You looking forward to X?
I do because it looks really cool, but I still gotta get on Xenoblade. Been really wanting to start it here lately, but I know as soon as I do, that Last of Us is gonna creep around the corner, and I'm gonna forget about it for a second. So I might just wait till after that.
Wait
I
till
do
you
have a
get
lot of
some
time on my hands. I have a lot of time on my hands now, so.
It's kind of like Skyrim in a way that you can play it and then drop it for a while and then pick back up because it has like a quest log.
Okay.
So you know what you need to do.
Yeah. Some people tell me it reminds them a lot of Final Fantasy 12 in a way.
Yeah.
So I won't have a problem with that. So look forward to starting it, and I know X will be just as great. So is that gonna follow Xenoblade more, or is it gonna be like a Xenosaga, or do you guys know?
I don't think it's going to be a direct sequel to Xenoblade, but I think it's going to be like a spiritual successor. Like take a bunch of the idea, especially when you see like the combat images, and it has the bar across the bottom.
The bar.
Yeah.
And then it's got the gears, kind of like Xenogears. Like in Xenoblade. So
somebody out there is making a big deal about the red mech that you see, how it looks a lot like Ed's mech from Xenogears.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I have to pull up a picture of Ed's mech to compare them, but
I'm going to ask a dumb question. Do all of these other games that you guys are mentioning have like tie-ins with these other games? Like, does Xenogears and Xenosaga like tie in to Xenoblade also?
Well, what it is, it's kind of like just like a shared like mindset. Like originally, like Xenogears is part 5 of this saga, which the creator never got to make the other parts because Squaresoft like shit-canned it or something. So then he went and made like a condensed version of that storyline with Xenosaga, and it kind of went off in its own direction.
Okay.
So it's just everything with Xeno in it. It kind of has like mechs and a certain mindset about philosophy and things like that, but they're not. It's not like a series, It's just kind of like a
But they're like you said, they're kind of like kindred spirits, where they're just they're kind of the same area. So if I played them back to back, then it would be like spiritual sequel, I guess.
Right. Like you would see like things kind of get really close to each other.
Okay.
But it wouldn't be like like the storyline doesn't progress.
I've always wondered because that name that word Xeno is carried throughout. So I was like, okay, well, are these supposed to be like really tied in to one another? And I've heard other people talk about the series too.
Well, yeah, the only reason Xenoblade was called Xenoblade was just out of respect for the director of the series, because he worked on all those other Xeno games.
Okay, I got you.
Originally it was called Monado, the beginning of the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if they're going to hold with just this X, or if we're going to see an actual name, or what they're going to stick with it.
I think it's going to be Xeno something.
Yeah. So then we got into the final game they kind of showed. The big one was the new Super Smash Brothers coming to 3DS and Wii U. I've never been a huge Smash Brothers player, so seeing another announcement of it didn't really excite me. But when the little trailer came up for the new character in it, I thought it was awesome. The trailer was sick. I thought it was great.
Oh boy!
And if anyone wants to mention who that is, doesn't matter to me.
Mega Man.
Yay, the
He's still alive, kind of.
Okay, well, if Mega Man is anything like he is in Marvel vs. Capcom in Super Smash Brothers, he's going to be a worthless piece of shit.
Yeah, I hope not.
He looks like a fucking beast.
He looks overpowered as all crazy in this game.
I want to see a Mega Man with that art style.
Yes.
Oh, it looks so beautiful. Yeah.
Like
You're
on
dreaming.
the 3DS or something? Yeah. Gosh.
Dreamers.
I know. Well, Capcom can give it to Nintendo. They'll take care of it.
That's the best, people that have Mega Man is Nintendo. They'll do something with it at least.
Well, yeah, but it's such a moneymaker. Capcom would never do it.
But it's not a moneymaker because they don't do anything with it.
Yeah,
it would be if they made a game. They're just too chicken shit to do it.
They already canceled 3 Mega Man games, so they have no plans.
The last couple they made didn't do too well.
Well, I mean, that's with the Legends.
Look what they made, though.
I want to say, how did the Xbox Live Arcade one sell? Did they have decent? Not sure.
You mean 10?
9 and 10?
Yeah, 9 and 10. Yeah.
Must be pretty decent for them to make 10. 9 sold well.
Yeah. So we'll see. It'd be cool to see something like that along that vein. Something with Mega Man in it. But until then, you have him in Smash Brothers.
I love that trailer because one of my good friends here in town, he loves Super Smash Brothers and he loves Mega Man. So I'm just like, I'm waiting for him to go completely apeshit when it comes out.
Yeah.
Although I thought the 3DS version looked like ass.
I didn't look at that. I didn't see that one.
They kind of always look bad when they're showing trailers for them because I guess it's just tough to get a good picture of it, but it did look kind of bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that trailer when he kicks in and you got that Mega Man 2 music playing, it was awesome. It's like they picked the perfect song and everything too.
Yeah, and more so with these Smash Brothers, more than being excited for them is to see the roster, and I know that's what everyone's excited about. And what are they going to include this time? I know that Namco Bandai is developing it or something, so you might see a lot of characters from their games like Tekken or the Tales game. So that'll be pretty cool.
I wonder if Snake and Sonic are still going to be in it.
Probably Sonic. Yeah, I don't know about Snake, but we'll probably see Sonic there, and I can really see some Fire Emblem Awakening people. Maybe Lucina. That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'd love Lucina in there.
Yeah.
Now they did announce 2 surprise characters. Now I'll take one. I'll let Dustin tell you guys the other.
Great.
They did announce the Villager. I guess that's from Animal Crossing. Is that who that's from?
Yeah.
They're in the game, but then for a week or two they've been holding back a surprise announcement. They said they couldn't open lips on any of it. And I know we're watching that second kind of conference with Nintendo Power Hour on game trailers.
We're all expecting a price drop.
Oh, they're like 15 minutes away from breaking news, breaking announcement. People are saying maybe this is the Metroid. I'm hoping price drop or new console bundle or something. And Dustin, what is the big announcement that they've been holding their tongue on?
All right, everyone, are you sitting down?
I mean, I don't know, but go ahead.
Steven, are you in the beanbag chair?
No, that's been retired.
All right, well, this might get dangerous because get this. All right, are you ready?
We're ready.
The Wii U or the Wii Fit U or Wii Fit trainer is a hidden character on Smash Brothers.
Get out of here! No
Shut the
way.
front door.
That was the big reveal that they've been like. It's just like who.
Nintendo won, hands down.
E3's done. E3 is done.
Drop the mic.
It's just you want to walk up and slap Reggie right in the face.
Oh, like I was telling you guys, Keely's reaction to that because he didn't get to go in the conferences. It was a lady who came out and said it to him. He was just like, "This is like in their live shows. Like you just wonder what Nintendo's thinking sometimes. Like he just seemed like, what are they doing?"
Oh no! When we announce this, the crowd is going to go wild. They're going to 20-minute standing applause because everyone loves Wii Fit, right? I was hyped up that last 15 minutes, wondering what is it going to be. And when she came out and said that, I just could not believe it. You know what surprises me though about that game, and I think it'd be a bigger reveal than the fucking Wii Fit trainer, is if you could use your Mii in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Why can't you do that?
And maybe they will, so we'll see. Who knows?
Why am I not running Nintendo right now?
There'd be so many great first-party games coming all at the same time. That's why.
That would kind of be a cool thing to have like have your Mii, and then you can like customize its moveset.
That would be awesome. Like customizing your moves and stuff. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. You need to apply right now for a job. All right, so there we go with all the conferences. Like, do we want to go ahead and say what we might think our game of show was for you guys, or what's your top 2 or 3 maybe games of show? How about you, Danny?
I haven't thought about that. Give me a second here. Oh gosh. I gotta think of a game that they showed a lot of. Not just I don't know, just trailers.
I could say mine.
Yeah, if you know yours, give me a second.
Mine would be I Can't Get Over X. It's not coming out this year. That's my number one most hyped game coming next year. Also, probably next year, Destiny's probably number two. Super stoked about that one. And I don't want to say Final Fantasy 15 because I know it's probably 2 years away still. So something that might be more recent. That game, The Division, looks pretty cool. Looks really cool. Has me intrigued. But I think I'd go with those three, with a Mario 3D World running close behind those. What about anyone else, if they're ready?
Mine's exactly the same, so.
Okay, there you go.
I guess I can go. Same with you, Destiny. Very intriguing looking shooter. Excited for that whenever that comes out. As far as Nintendo, I'm a big Zelda fan, especially Link to the Past. So the new, was it Link to Both Worlds? I forgot the name of it.
We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, so I guess we can talk about it now. Yeah.
I didn't see him show him in the briefing. I was like, why didn't they show a trailer here or something?
That's true. They didn't show the briefing at all.
Yeah, they show it later. But yeah, it looks really neat. It takes advantage of the 3D on the 3DS, which is cool. It has a lot of depth. Going kind of traversing up and down the stages, and also turning into like a shock or like a drawing on the wall. That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
So really looking forward to that. I don't know if they announced a release date. Hopefully in the fall, but who knows?
Yeah, it's supposed to be this fall.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of the graphics in that game for some reason.
No, I was hoping for more
Classic.
Yeah, classic or like Minish Cap kind of like maybe Wind Waker, like self shade.
Yeah. Looks like it's got a claymation look or something.
Yeah, but as long as it plays well, and I don't know how it's going to tie into the Link to the Past, but we'll see. But pretty excited for that, and yeah, that's about it. And I guess Metal Gear.
Cool.
Yep.
Oh, great! I just thought of something. My fucking Hyrule Historia is now obsolete. Thanks, Link to the Past 2. Thanks. You fucked up the chronology.
Yeah, the timeline.
Wow. What about you, Chance? Does anything jump to your mind, even though you didn't get to view a lot of it?
Well, definitely Destiny, definitely Wolfenstein, The New Order, and probably the new Mario. But also, I haven't seen anything on that new Zelda you're talking about, but yeah. I'm sure it's going to be amazing too, so I'll definitely be getting that one too. I still haven't played Link to the Past, but I own it for the Game Boy Advance, and I've played a little bit of it, I guess, just not very much, but I'm a huge fan of Link's Awakening, so I'm familiar with at least the time period, for Zelda games, and yeah, so if it's anything as good as Link's Awakening, and from what I've played of Link to the Past, I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I'm sure I'm going to be into it. So
there we go. And where did you see this Wolfenstein stuff at? I haven't seen.
Well,
anything about it.
I actually didn't see anything with E3. I just have been watching a lot of trailers of it itself. Like, I've been seeing stuff come out for it, and it's just a new game that's going to be coming out that I'm really excited for. And I see it on all these IGN lists, the E3 lists. So it's from Machine Games. They haven't said for sure when it's going to come out yet, but I don't know. It looks pretty awesome. I've posted a couple of trailers on Facebook. You should check them out.
Cool. I will. Well, there we go. There was E3 in a nutshell. I know going into it, I was really worried, concerned about are we going digital yet? And I thought Wii U was just going to be the only one standing at the top of the mountain. But I have to say I'm coming out pretty excited. I'm super stoked that the PS4 is sticking to the old ways. You guys kind of feeling the same way?
Yeah.
Good. You should feel the same way. Because I'm right about everything.
Who would have thought that doing what we've been doing in video gaming for like 30-some years would be revolutionary,
Yeah.
Oh my God, you could trade your games with your friends and you could sell them and at a yard sale and make money off them. Who would have thought that would be so revolutionary in 2013?
That reminded me, I got so frustrated at another comment I saw that they said the PS4 also is going to suck because it doesn't have its cloud-based system up on launch. I'm like, oh my goodness. Who cares about I don't care about the cloud. I don't care.
I have cloud on my iPad and I never use it.
So, But do we want to, should we wrap it up here, or do we want to answer these 3 questions or carry them over to the next one?
Well, we're at 2 hours and 20 minutes right now, so
Wow, pretty long.
that's up to you.
I say, let's see. These might not be too. I said let's go for it because they're not too tough to answer, and I sent them over to Danny early just so he'd be prepared to answer, and I feel bad if he didn't get to now. So it's just 3 questions. We'll get into them real quick, and we appreciate you guys sending them in. We'll go ahead and start off with Mr. Norwegian Noob, a good friend on YouTube. He had a question for the next podcast. What is the one game in particular that has blown your pants off this generation? It could be from 360, PS3, Wii, DS, PSP, 3DS, Wii U, Vita. And he says his choice would be Catherine or Limbo, or maybe Radiant Historia. Anything coming to mind? Danny, I know you're prepared, man. What do you got?
Yeah, he said he brought up Catherine. I have to agree. Just I never played anything quite like it. The story's pretty great, super hard, but yeah, just questions your moral fiber answering all these questions. And generally you're cheating on your girlfriend in this game, and never seen any game that had put you in that situation. So that's just amazing to me. So if you haven't played Catherine, I recommend you check it out. It's pretty cheap and it's on both systems. But the one game that's definitely blown my mind, and it's got me back into gaming more hardcore because I haven't been playing a lot of games, since 2 years ago. I've just been, playing Uncharted, some newer games, but it would have to be Mass Effect 2 on a PS3. And I heard a lot of great things on a 360, and I didn't have the 360 at the time. I already sold it. I got a PS3, then the Mass Effect 2 came out, so I was like, yeah, I'll try it again. Mass Effect 1 was pretty fun, but yeah, that just blew my mind. I beat that game like 5 times, saw all the endings, and answer all the different dialogue. I just want to see the reactions, and it's just so fun going through it and playing as both male and female Shepard, being good and evil. So that to me, one of my best games this generation.
I'm surprised EA didn't tease some kind of Mass Effect thing.
Maybe it's really done.
No, it's not completely done. They're gonna have something.
Well, I haven't played 3 yet, so.
Oh, all right.
I don't know. Don't spoil that like you spoiled Walking Dead Dustin for me.
Yeah. The storyline might end, but the universe is still there.
Yeah, it's a rich universe. They could do a lot with it.
Yeah,
it is. Mass Effect 2, man, that's a good answer. Great game. I'm gonna go with Xenoblade Chronicles, though. Short answer from me. Next.
I would say Xenoblade as well. Although I really want to say Nier. For some reason, Nier just kind of sticks with me.
It's a soundtrack that sticks with me.
It's just a soundtrack that sticks with me, but there's just something about it that it was just so weird that I love it. So
nice. You got one chance?
Yeah, mine are going to be obscure as always.
I only get one, so you can't say multiples.
Well, Danny said more than one.
Danny's the guest.
Well, son of a bitch. Now I got to rethink of it.
We know if we give you the option, you'll list like 10, though, so you're not allowed to.
Well, fine. Let me think. I really, really, really liked Enslaved. I think that was
good choice.
Really, really, really good. Story was just phenomenal, and it was kind of my well, not my first experience with like the that kind of platforming, but I don't know. I just really liked the different things that you had to do. With Trip being able to program the dragonflies to like look ahead of you, so you could see where the mechs were, and you could kind of choose to avoid them or attack them head on. And I don't know, it was just really kind of cool. And I thought that all 3 of the characters were just fantastic. So yeah, that's probably my best choice.
That's a great choice. Awesome game. All right, I'll go into question 2 from Mr. SNES Mapper. Great YouTuber. You guys should definitely go check him out. He says, great episode as always. Question for the next episode. Are there any particular games you're hoping to see remade for the upcoming systems? Wii U, PS4, and Xbox One. I'm asking because the Resident Evil remake for the GameCube is one of my favorites of all times, and he wouldn't mind seeing an updated version of Xenoblade. So is there any we'd like to see? And not because you said Resident Evil in your question, but I've been wanting to see Resident Evil 2 just like that one ever since that one was made.
Yeah.
So that is my choice right off the bat. Resident Evil 2. This is my favorite game of all time. Anyone else can take it next.
I'll go next, I guess. For me,
Right.
I love the first Parasite Eve game. The 3 Parasite Eve games that are out right now, all 3 couldn't be more different. But me and a lot of fans would probably agree the first one's very unique. Blending RPG and it's kind of like a survival horror kind of feel, and just plays very well. Still holds up till today, but could definitely use the graphics upgrade or even kind of a spiritual successor that plays like the first one, because the other 2 are totally different games. So I'll be happy to see that.
Are you a fan of Third Birthday, or did you beat it?
See, yeah, because it only took like 3 hours. But the thing with Third Birthday is they can only work with so much. I think there's like a big license or issue. They cannot use the name. They couldn't use like so many different things, the story, all of that. So it had to be that way, kind of.
Wow, it's really that short? I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, like it's like 3 or 4 hours. There's a lot of replay, value if you want to unlock costumes and weapons. A lot of that. It's like there's like, oh, if you want this ending, you have to beat it 6 times. I was like, yeah, I'm not going for that.
That makes me want to finish it now, because I think I'm like 2 hours into it.
Yeah, and you can get like a lightning costume, which is pretty cool. I forgot how you got that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
How about you, Chance? We'll let you go next.
I really am sitting here staring at my games trying to think of one, and I think it would be really awesome. See, I kind of feel like when the Doom 3 BFG edition came out that Doom 64 really got the shaft on that, because that's something that I would really like to see, because I have so much trouble playing Doom 64 because I hate the controller so much, and it's just so dark and I can't see anything. So it doesn't have to be like a full bore HD remake, but if they would just, lighten it up a little bit and put it on a newer gen console so I could play the damn thing, that would be pretty awesome. Even if it was just a downloadable, I'd be all right with that, because like I said, I already own the cart. But it really would have been a fantastic addition to the BFG edition. But oh well. I mean, I don't know why they didn't put it on there, except for maybe Nintendo owns it or something. I don't know, because it was exclusive to the N64.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Sweet.
That's about the closest thing that I can think of.
Dustin, go for it.
Well, as much as I harp on this game, I still would really like to see this come to fruition, and that is the Final Fantasy VII remake.
7 one?
Yeah, but even more than that, think about this. Final Fantasy VI running on the 13 engine.
Oh.
Yeah, right?
That is a huge makeover.
I know.
Oh.
I would buy it.
Wow.
But I think I really do think somewhere in some secret back room that Square Enix is working on that Final Fantasy VII remake. They've
got to be. That'd be such a money seller. Yeah.
I wish they would come out with a physical copy of Dimensions.
Or at least release it on like the PSN and
because I just can't see myself sitting there playing it on my iPhone because I don't have an iPad. I just don't want to sit there and play it on that small phone.
It might actually play better on the phone, because I have the Lunar Touch, and it plays better on the phone than it does on the iPad. So,
all right, I guess we'll go into the last one here. The last question from Holy Kyle One, who's a newer YouTuber here. He's got good stuff though, so I'd definitely go check him out too. So he said, here's a question for the podcast. If you pick a game that is a Japanese exclusive and have it localized, what game would it be? Chance, is there any Japanese games you want over here?
Not just one, but all of the cave shoot-em-ups.
I knew you were going to say that.
Every single last freaking one of them. Caladrius is the one that just came out. I actually don't even know if it's Cave. It might be Moss who made that one. It's the same people who made Raiden 3. And that game looks so amazing, and it's effing Japanese, and it's region locked on the Japanese 360. And I'm bummed about it. So
most of the cave shooters are region free,
right? But not all of them, and they
get really expensive.
Yeah, they're really expensive. That's what I mean. So if they were all localized, and I can go to GameStop, and they know what I'm talking about when I say, "Hey, I would like to pick," you guys have any of the cave shoot 'em ups, and they know what I'm talking about, that'd be great.
Yeah. Well, you got a Kai Katana. What more could you want?
Well, I have Death Smiles too, but
I really want Galadrius.
The Dodonpachi Resurrection from the PAL region by Rising Star. That's not that. It's like $40.
Yeah, I think several of them are pretty reasonable on Play Asia. If I were to get on there and order them in, but I'm just lazy.
Yeah, most of the all the Japanese ones that I have, they're the player's choice in the gray boxes.
Yeah,
that looks so good.
Yeah. So yeah, cave shoot 'em ups.
Awesome.
I wish they had all come out here.
Cool. What do you got, Danny?
How about the entire Sega Saturn library? That would be nice. But that's a little overkill. But if I had to pick one game, because there's a lot we don't get, a lot of games we don't get over here. But probably, some of the more recent games I've been playing, and I love to see Fatal Frame 4 on the Wii be localized. So it'd be pretty amazing. So yeah,
Sweet.
that'd be the one.
What about you, Dustin?
It's a game that I have, and I really want to play it because I just messed around with it for a little bit, and it just seems so awesome. And that's Somabringer on the DS.
What is that?
It's like it's by Monolith Soft. It's by Monolith Soft, and it's like it kind of plays like Secret of Mana in a lot of ways.
Okay.
But it's very text driven, and I mean you can play it, and like there's guides out there to help you through it. And I think there is a ROM, an English ROM out there, but I don't know how to play like a DS game. I don't know. I guess I have to download a DS emulator and blah blah blah. But it just seems really awesome, and it's all in Japanese. But
I actually have a DS cartridge here that you can put ROMs in of DS games. So that'd be cool if that would go on that, and I could play it in my DS.
Where'd you get that at?
I actually got it off of Craigslist. The guy was selling some Game Boy Advance games, and it was in the one of the cases with the Game Boy Advance games, and it has 200 Game Boy Advance games on it, and about 40 DS games on it.
And it works when you put it in there?
Yep, works like a charm. In my DS Lite, I haven't tried it in my 3DS. But anyways, if there was one it's called an R4 or something, I'll give you some stuff on it if you're interested. But it says, for my localized game here, I want Final Fantasy Type 0 on the PSP. I've wanted it ever since I heard about it. I was really into the Crisis Core combat system, and I think it's not like that. I think it is like an action-based system in that one too. But, I mean, you hear nothing but great things about it. And this was a while back now, but I think I remember telling Dustin, I was walking through the hallways at the school I work at, and there was a student there playing. He was a Japanese student. He was playing Final Fantasy Type 0 on his PSP, and I was just sitting there and just jealousy and talking to him about it, and it just looked awesome. So I would love to see that come over here sometime in any shape or form. So.
I'm changing my answer.
Uh-oh. What's your answer?
I'm completely fucking stupid, and I'm assuming when I said Somabringer back there, a bunch of people just started yelling at the screen when they listened to this. Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky, second chapter.
Yeah.
I was really, because that's what Holy Kai said he wanted over here.
Yeah.
So I was I wonder if Dustin will say the same thing.
I completely botched that.
So there you go. Dustin really wants Trails in the Sky second chapter.
Every Trails in the Sky game.
Yeah. Well, we'll see with this this Kickstarter market now. Hopefully, we should be able to get what we want, but you never know.
Hey, if XC does it, I'll do it.
Yeah. So there you have it. I think this is a long enough podcast. So I think we go ahead and wrap this one up, guys.
You don't want to talk about what we've been playing?
Oh
no. We'll catch that up next episode.
All right.
But I mean, Danny, it was awesome having you here, man. I know you've been hanging out with us the past couple of days here on Skype, so it's been cool talking to you, man, and glad you were able to finally get on the official podcast, because I know we had you scheduled for a while, so I'm just glad we finally got it taken care of.
Yeah, just thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Definitely have you back, man. So, well, I'm worn out from E3. I'm worn out from the podcast now. Now I got to go to work tomorrow, so.
I know, 2 podcasts in a row. Jeez.
Yeah.
I know. We're big time in it now.
I don't want to talk to you guys for another month.
Awesome. Well, hope you guys are excited as we are for the next gen now with PS4 and everything. Hopefully it goes okay, but I'm ready to call it a night. So, bye everybody.
Night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.